apparently am an idiot.
Adam Curry, John C. Dvorak.
It's Thursday, November 27th, 2014, and time for your Gitmo Nation Media Assassination episode 673.
This is No Agenda.
Tracking down the great pin and poke scam in Gitmo Nation Lowlands, coming to you from the pipe in the heart of Amsterdam. In the morning, everybody, I'm Adam Curry.
And from the Pacific Northwest hideout, 2,119 miles away from Ferguson, Missouri, I'm John C. Dvorak.
It's Crackpot and Buzzkill in the morning.
So you're going to give us a live on-the-scene report, John, from 2,100 miles away?
I'm here 2,100 miles away from Ferguson, Adam.
Yes, and how is it, John? How is everything there?
It's cold. It's very cold, and I'm here reporting on the spot.
Yes, and do you see any of your colleagues there? Are you all safe? Are you safe, John? Are you all safe?
I see Brian Williams standing out in the cold doing a stand-up. Why isn't he in New York or someplace where it's warm? What an idiot.
They must be paying him a lot of money, John. What do you think? You want to go ask him about that, maybe?
He makes $12 to $14 million a year.
Well, I'll freeze my nuts off for that too, John. All right, listen, John, come back with us later.
To you, Adam.
That's right. Be safe, John. Be safe. Yeah.
$14 million a year so he can go stand in the cold. Reporting live from Ferguson.
All right, let me give this. Let me give you this a try here. Hold on. Oh man, I'm still here in the Netherlands. If anyone's wondering,
this is an interesting coincidence. I'm in the Pacific Northwest hideout.
Yes,
you're in the Netherlands, and Eric is also on the road. The first time in the history of the show that all three of the
principals
producers are in different locations than normal.
So where is Eric?
He's heading down to Berkeley.
Oh, wow. Oh, okay. So you guys almost crossed each other then.
Yeah, he almost crossed me.
Yeah, damn it. Well, first of all, happy Thanksgiving, John.
Happy Thanksgiving to you, Adam. You realize this is the phoniest of all the holidays that we celebrate routinely.
Well, I find this hard to believe because I have a proclamation from the President of the United States. And it seems pretty not only just a proclamation, a little history lesson.
Oh, this I'd like to hear.
Yes, the President.
Okay, let's just start. Before you read the proclamation, let's just review it.
Let me just say one thing. Some people have heard this 7 years in a row. This would be your eighth time.
I'm going to cut it short, believe me.
Okay.
You can go to Dvorak.org/blog and look it up. I'll probably repost everything later today. But it's the Thanksgiving celebration really began when Lincoln, I tell you, created a day of Thanksgiving for the dead Civil War soldiers. And they have had Thanksgivings similar to that on and off over all the years. There was something that took place during the Pilgrim era called Harvest Day or Festival Day or something like that. It wasn't Thanksgiving. And then some woman, I believe, don't have it in front of me, but later, and a few years later, like during the Truman administration or something like that, demanded that this whole thing be put into play as a bogus, celebration of the Pilgrims or something. I don't know how that even got to there, but it's bullcrap. The whole thing is bullcrap.
Well, I'm sorry.
That's my short version.
I'm sorry to hear you say that way.
My kids, by the way, a little side story. My kids, they got this from me. Of course, I'm the grumpy old dad that keeps telling them Thanksgiving is bogus. My kids used to take this information to school.
Now, when did you?
Like in the fifth grade or something.
I thought they were homeschooled.
No, they'd be in and out. My daughter was the one that was homeschooled the most.
Oh, okay.
The other two, they were going to here and there. But whatever the case, they would take this information to school and they get almost expelled.
for spewing this craziness. Right.
Your dad's a conspiracy nut.
Oh, yeah. Really? Did they call you you, of all people, they called you a conspiracy nut? Really? No?
I made it up.
So I had this whole proclamation thing about Thanksgiving. Yeah. And I go to open it up and I get a 404. It's like they've removed. This is very peculiar.
Save page as.
Well, no, this is why I'm kind of trying to stall everything so I can go into my into my archive. Yeah, well, of course, our whole system has backups. Tell us a little bit more about the holiday, John. Just give me one more second, see if I can find this.
Let's skip ahead.
Okay.
And go to Obama.
We have a clip?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, all right.
Obama Pardon 1.
Oh, crikey. I knew it was coming.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Hey, he sounds drunk. Did you hear that?
Hey, happy Thanksgiving.
Please have a seat. Normally we do this outside. The weather's not cooperating today. But I want to, first of all, on behalf of Malia and Sasha, wish everybody an early happy Thanksgiving. I am here to announce what I'm sure will be the most talked about executive action this month. Today I'm taking an action fully within my legal authority. The same kind of action taken by Democrats and Republican presidents before me to spare the lives of 2 turkeys, mac and cheese.
What?
Yeah,
what?
I need to say something here.
Depression food, and he's celebrating.
I need to say something about this. I want it to be known. I want to reiterate this program has been the sole and true leader in tracking the progression of the 80-year cycle depression food known as macaroni and cheese, oft referred to as mac and cheese.
We're the only ones.
And this is important because now all of a sudden this mac and cheese is now not just 1 but 2 turkeys that are being pardoned with, as we've discussed, a traditional dish for African Americans at Thanksgiving, the mac and cheese. Now pushing this entire meme onto the people. It truly does signal the beginning of the end. What you, Mr. Dvorak?
Oh, absolutely. Let's play Obama Pardon number 2.
Oh, hold on. I have the whenever you're ready. I have the legislation
okay.
I have his.
We'll play these 2 more clips.
Yeah, okay.
And they'll get to live out the rest of their days, respectively, at a Virginia estate with 10,000 acres of roaming space.
Woo!
That's in Langley.
This amnesty.
Now, I looked that company up. Do you know how many turkeys they do?
Millions.
Well, yeah, just in the month of December.
No.
750,000. And on their website, they have this whole thing. Hey, but we also we deliver turkeys that are all dressed up and good to go in the oven. We don't just take them back. And this whole piece with this lady, I was like, oh, yeah, no, but Brad Pitt orders from us. George Clooney orders from us. It's very strange. It's not just some little farm, couple of people. Onward.
Why would George Clooney order from these folks?
And Bruce Springsteen.
He lives in Beverly Hills or Italy.
Yeah, Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah, this is bull crap.
But don't worry, there's plenty of turkey to go around.
He made a funny Washington joke. See how?
And finally, the clip of the series. I had to cut this down from 10 minutes.
Yeah, I know. I'm glad you did it.
In fact, later this afternoon, Michelle, Malia, and Sasha and I will take 2 turkeys that didn't make the cut to a local food pantry that works hard year-round to make sure that folks in our nation's capital have food and clothes food to eat and clothes to wear.
Didn't make the cut.
Now, what he said there is that they're wearing turkeys.
I don't.
Yes, I listened to it a couple of times.
Okay, hold on.
Turkeys so they can wear them
around to make sure that folks in our nation's capital have food and clothes food to eat and clothes to wear.
Hey. Well, he says he's taking the turkey to this homeless shelter so they can have food to eat and clothes to wear.
Yes, John, that's what he said. I get it.
He did.
I know. I heard it. I get it. Very funny. Presidential proclamation.
That's how bad things are.
Thanksgiving 2014. And so Thanksgiving Day invites us to reflect, blessings, freedoms, cherish, armed forces. And then here we go. From nearly 400 years ago. This is official. This is in the Library of Congress. This is history. If you go back to November 27th, 2014, and let's just say these are kids in 2030, 2035. Like, hey, what did the old people, old timers, what did they think about? Remember when internet was, they thought fiber was going to be the next best thing? All right, those days, whose history are they going to be reading? John C. Dvorak, podcaster at large, President Barack Hussein Obama.
Well,
okay, exactly.
He's got a bigger audience than we do.
Nearly 400 years ago, a group of pilgrims left their homeland. Notice the subtle use
of the word homeland.
And sailed across an ocean in pursuit of liberty and prosperity. I turn to my esteemed colleague, Mr. Dvorak, for a quick expansion on the pursuit of these said pilgrims leaving their homeland.
They were leaving from religious persecution for the most part.
So that's liberty and prosperity.
They were driven out.
They were chased. With the friendship and kindness of the Wampanoag people, they learned to harvest the rich bounty of a new world.
How many of those Wampanoas are left?
I continue. Together, they shared a successful crop, celebrating bonds of community during a time of great hardship. Through times of war and peace, the example of a native tribe who extended a hand to a new people has endured.
This is good. He's relating this to the situation with the undocumented aliens.
How slick is that?
Very good.
Extended a hand to a new people. So
but of course, it's good if anybody actually read it besides you, which is
well,
which is a drawback to the thing.
But again, this is the history. This will be, and look, and here he wrote it. He wrote it as he did it.
One of the great speeches will be seen as a speech. One of the great speeches by Barack Obama, welcoming the Mexicans.
Isn't that slick though? It's like that would be the white men who should be ashamed of themselves, I guess, because of our privilege. We once landed on these shores, and there we had the Obama of their day. Or maybe the JFK of their day, or the Truman of their day. That was the Wampanoag Indians, and they were reaching out to us, and then we killed them. So what is the lesson here? What is he trying to tell us?
He's avoiding the fact that Mexicans are here to kill us.
That's the only logical conclusion.
That's the logic of the whole thing.
And that's our show.
Yeah, thank you very much. By the way, are you sick of the meme "country of immigrants"?
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard we're an immigration country, which I think is nicer.
Country of immigrants is the one I think you hear the most, and it's a total meme that's always used. And it's like we could go into the Ferguson thing, but Ferguson,
not yet. We can't go yet.
Targeted.
Yeah.
It has another little meme in there, which is annoying.
Well, so I followed Obama around a bit because that was the easiest for me to do, and yeah, Ferguson folds into this because I've been watching as much European news as possible. Obviously, a little bit of CNN International, which is interesting. It's kind of like they have their second string of chicks.
Yeah, actually, the second string of chicks on CNN International, even though I can't get it anymore because the Dish Network is refused.
I thought they were done. It's back on. Have you checked?
I haven't checked.
Yeah, I think they settled. Yeah, they settled.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Well, whatever the case, I think CNN International is a far superior product.
But I think that they have some second string chicks, and I just want everyone to understand we are speaking as television executives right now.
Yes, when we speak as television executives, we're sexist pigs and a-holes. So we're actually being television executives. Yes. So we are presenting ourselves as sexist pig a-holes who really don't know anything.
That's right. It's a skit.
Yes, it is a skit.
All right, sexist pig a-hole.
Who doesn't know anything.
Right, exactly.
So what about him?
Yeah, so I've been watching some Obama stuff. A couple of things that are subtle, a couple of things that he went to Chicago. And this was a planned, they had a planned heckling session. I was pretty impressed. So now imagine this is a setting with a lot of students, young people. Then it's in kind of a auditorium, almost in the round, or at least three sides, definitely 4 sides maybe of people behind the president. And And, these not just any idiot can walk into these. Certainly not, at least three coordinated hecklers. And I think part of this was improv, but the president immediately takes this into a script. And then later disclaims that it was a script. It was so bizarre.
He said it was a script? Oh, no, he disclaimed. He said it wasn't a script.
I'll play these little clips. Okay, so here's the first... it's about 20, 23 minutes into it. And I believe this is done purposely, in order to... let me describe this. In order to actually signal to the media, here's the message, or, I don't know. It was just some kind of exercise in communication. Here's the first heckling, the start of it.
But even...
Mr. President, but that has been a lie. You have been deporting families.
All right.
I will never thank you for continuing.
Okay.
See, now...
All right.
Now it's kind of like one main lady and then another one
who you can't understand. I'm sure you must have listened closer than I can hear it.
Can barely hear. The only thing I heard at the beginning was, "You lie," something like that.
You lie. That's it.
Something like that. So now there's two ladies yelling, and it's from opposite.
No more war. I heard that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's from opposite sides, but they are coordinated as far as I'm concerned. Okay.
Yeah, they're all that shrill code pink type.
This I think is a code pink. Yeah, but that's not seen. Now what happens is there's like 3 or 4 people, and this is going on for a while. I mean, I've cut out the whole episode of this was probably 5 or 6 minutes, just people yelling at him, going, well, here he is trying to grab hold of the situation, and I did not edit this. This stuttering is in real time. Here we go.
I understand. Listen. Hold on, young lady. Don't just start yelling, young ladies.
All the single ladies.
Hey, sir, why don't you sit down too? Listen.
Doesn't it sound?
That's how we go. That's how we roll.
That's all, folks.
And that's the story.
And I tried some Spanish. What was that? That was pretty sad. I speak zero Spanish, but he's just going to try something. Oh, crap. I don't know what to say. What?
Here. Can I just say this?
Yeah.
I've listened to you. I've heard you.
This is key. Now, this is key. This is very smart the way this is done.
I heard you. All right? Now, I've been respectful. I'll let you in.
Woo! Respectful prayers. Yeah. These guys are good, John. You got to admit it. This is good shit.
So,
it's all he's good at.
Oh, yeah. Well, at least that's that. Yeah. All right. So he does that very well. And then what do I have here? Oh, okay. So now he has everybody's attention. Now he's going to do what I call deliver the payload. So now everyone's kind of off kilter. It's been a little exciting.
You call this deliver the payload?
This is what I call it.
Huh.
Deliver the payload. So he's got this drone.
Don't you think it should be deliver the payoff?
No, it's a payload.
Okay.
No, because he's encapsulated this payload of information with this emotional outburst, and people, oh wow, okay, well, what's happening? What's going on?
We're witness to history. That's what you think in the audience.
To mind controlling history is what we're witness to.
Yeah.
So, and then here it comes.
We've got to be able to talk honestly about these issues. All right.
Okay.
Now,
this is right after what you heard.
You're absolutely right that there have been significant numbers of deportations.
I love the uptalk on that one. Deportations. Okay. Hey, it's just deportations.
That's true.
True. We deported some folks. I wish he would have said that. I find it a crime that his writers didn't put that in.
Yeah, since he uses it constantly. Yeah, we deported some folks.
That would have been perfect. And at this point, he is reading the prompter, by the way. This is why I know that it was scheduled.
Oh, okay. So you caught him right on prompter, right after the heckling.
Right into it, baby.
But
Nice.
And I know you mean that too. You're like,
No,
yeah,
I do.
Excellent.
what
It was
you're not
good.
paying attention to
Oh, what you're not paying attention to. This is so good. This is NLP.
And I'm a fake.
Yeah.
is the fact that I just took an action to change the law.
Oh.
Now,
Now. What? Now,
So-
all right, here comes.
that's point number one.
Yeah. Oh, that point number one, which is, I guess, just off the cuff, but he has a couple points he wants to make from the prompter.
Point number two.
And he, yeah,
number two.
woo, Barack.
The way the change in the law works is that we're reprioritizing how we enforce our immigration laws generally.
I like this because that is the truth. We talked about the prosecutorial discretion, and that's all that it is. Just by saying, well, he'll give you the slogans. He's going to, do you remember the slogan, John?
No.
It was felons, not families.
Oh, right.
Right?
Yeah.
So we deport felons, not families. And he's going to do that, but he's going to try to come up with a new one on the fly. And it's great. It's
Gonna
great.
blow it.
It's great.
So not
Can't
everybody
really do that. So he can't ad lib.
It's so bad.
qualifies for being able to sign up and register, but the change in priorities applies to everybody.
Okay. Trust me.
The point is that though I understand why you might have yelled at me a month ago, although I disagree with some of your characterizations, it doesn't make much sense to yell at me right now when
That's a Cosby. That's like a Cosby almost, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit.
we're making changes. So the point is,
I'm great.
the point is,
I'm great.
let's make sure that you get the facts, and that you know exactly what we're doing, and then if you have disagreements, then you can work through all the immigrants' rights organizations that we work with to try to address some of your concerns.
I guess I didn't have that part on there. Let me find it. Sorry, I thought I had the his flub there. Well, here's his admission of the script.
Okay, it's good to be back in Chicago. So, because everybody's got something to say. But I'm not going to be able to have a conversation with each of you separately. So there are other ways of engaging. Just sit down. I went off script for a pretty long time.
Oh, really?
I don't mind. I know people are passionate about this, but
They always like to do that. Throwing a little, I went off the script. It was completely scripted. Even him saying he went off the script is scripted.
Yeah, I'm sure that's up there.
So,
Well, in some of these events, like when they do the
I had two more quickies from this.
I
event.
was just going to mention when some of these events, like when they do the correspondence dinner,
Yeah.
he's up there with two prompters, but there's also a giant prompter at the back of the hall.
Yeah, a really big one.
Yeah, giant thing.
That's more when it's
all
in-
anyone has to do is turn around and take a movie of it.
Oh, I've seen it a couple times.
Yeah, I see it occasionally because of the camera angles, but nobody's just filming it.
Yeah, but this is the emperor has no clothes on. You see, everyone knows that he's reading. Everyone sees it taking place, but it doesn't matter. He's naked. It's become commonplace, and for many others, not just him. Don't disturb him. Listen. He's a very busy guy. He's got a tough.
Let him finish.
He's got a tough job. We can understand where sometimes it's just easier for him. He's running around saving the world. He needs a teleprompter. Don't you understand that? What's the matter with you? Why are you asking these questions? Here's something interesting the president said.
the best programs may be too far away. And sometimes someone, usually mom, leaves the workplace to stay home with the kids, which then leaves her earning a lower wage for the rest of her life as a result. And that's not a choice we want Americans to make. So
What?
I knew you'd catch that one.
Wow.
We don't want you to make a choice to.
We don't want you having any choices where you raise your kids.
Well, wait.
Go back in the workplace later and become CEO. By the way, most female CEOs have kids. They had them when they were early, and now they're loaded, they're rich, and they're running the country.
Yeah.
So what's he talking about?
Well, listen to the very end.
We want Americans to make. So let's make this happen. By the end of this decade, let's enroll 6 million children in high-quality preschool. And
Here they go. And not only do we not want you to make that choice, we want you to put them in jail called pre-kindergarten. What is pre-children garden? Before they grow. What do we put them in the earth?
Get them in there early so you can brainwash them right off the top.
You know it's got to be like that.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Who else comes up with stuff like this? Who else comes up with it? No,
Hitler.
Hey, you're a little early for me. Hold on. I don't have my Hitler. Whoever calls for Hitler during a show? I wasn't expecting. Hitler! All right. Now our transitional clip, thanks to the president. So again, another gaffe. And I'm listening to this as I really only wanted to clip that one bit about, about what he was talking about. But then he slipped this in.
I hope you don't mind, because obviously there's a lot of stuff in the news. I actually need to begin by saying a few words about what happened over the past day. Not just in first.
He's got a lot of lip smack going on in this clip.
He's been doing that more and more. I've noticed it.
Maybe we're just noticing it now. That's what I think.
That's a possibility since we're now aware of lip smacking.
Ferguson, Missouri, our neighbor to the south, but all across America. As many of you know, a verdict came down. Now,
I didn't catch it at first, but he catches himself.
A grand jury made a decision yesterday that...
That's a big difference from a verdict came down.
Yeah.
I find that to be a very disturbing mistake. What's he thinking? And this is... And I believe this may also have... I'm not sure if I could see him reading prompter on this. It's probably something he messes up when he really goes off script. That's probably why he messed it up. A verdict came down. No. But that kind of shows you, I think, how incredibly staged this, although it's real. I mean, there's a lot of stuff is real. There's real stuff happening. But come on. When you see Jake Tapper, Anderson Pooper, Brian Williams, Don Lemon, all on the scene, that's like the biggest red flag you can ever imagine. If it's really dangerous, these guys are not going anywhere.
Yeah, I agree.
Did you see Don Lemon? No, you don't.
No,
you don't have CNN.
I don't have CNN. Yeah, I wasn't getting CNN.
All right, here's my favorite. He's just standing there talking to a guest.
Officers will be going out. Also, what you're looking at now on the other side of your screen, again.
Just let the guy come up. Fuck CNN. Here's
that's the dangerous part.
You got to listen to this. Here's Don Lemon. I want you to tell me, stoned or not stoned?
Okay, stoned, not drunk or not drunk.
No, I don't have a jingle for it, so it's not drunk or not drunk. Stoned or not stoned, as in the weed, the holy herb, the Mary Jane.
Stinkweed.
Yes.
Mary Jane.
The tie stick, Mary Jane. Do we have any more old school references, John, that we can throw out there for the kids? So
Reefer.
Reefer. Makes sense to me, brah. All right, here we go.
We're standing right across the street from the Ferguson Police Department, Anderson, and just a couple of seconds ago we heard one gunshot. We heard about 4 or 5 earlier as the prosecutor was making the announcement. But just the one that happened just a couple of seconds ago, people started running this way.
Now, I got to tell you, I am certainly my own qualification, I am a qualified expert on the smoking of marijuana, and certainly working while smoking marijuana. And I think at this very moment, this report, Don he's feeling his. If you've ever smoked marijuana, He's got this. He's being removed. He's seeing his body. He's hearing his lips move. He's seeing that. He's hearing the noises, but he's not really inside himself. And he can hear him start to slow down and just completely lose the plot.
And there were a couple of police officers in the crowd, and they're still sort of moving around here. But again, we have heard gunshots this evening. A couple during the prosecutor's announcement, Bob McCullough's announcement, and then just about maybe a minute, 2 minutes ago, just before you went to Jason Carroll, we heard a gunshot, and then people started scattering, and now they're moving back.
This is gathering. Here it comes.
And we're watching people. They're on top of the roofs of the tops of cars.
Come on, John. Are you not hearing it yet?
Yeah, he sounds like he's a little surferish.
Well, and here comes the kicker.
Hey, man, yeah, and then they were standing around.
Here comes the kicker.
And obviously there's a smell of marijuana in the air as well. But again, gunshots here.
Did he say obviously?
Yeah, because he's slurring his words. He's like, obviously there's a smell of marijuana.
Obviously there's the smell of marijuana, and that would account for my slurring my words if you really think about it. Because there's a smell around here.
Is this sequence, the roofs of cars, of feet of people on top of it something?
The roofs of the tops of cars, and
what?
Obviously there's a smell of marijuana in the air as well.
Dude.
I never heard that whole clip. Now I realize that the smell of marijuana is from him.
Yes, because he's talking. His mouth is actually coming.
He probably, if you look at his other hand, he's holding a doobie.
And may I give the European perspective of this situation in Ferguson?
Oh, I'd love to hear that. It's great. That's why you're there.
That's why
you're
I'm
on
here.
the spot in Europe giving a live report.
I am. Yes, I am. And it's dark again as I speak to you, John, from the corridors of Western Europe. That's right.
Like 8:30 there.
It's 10 to 7.
Yeah, it must be pitch black.
It was black at 4:30.
Yeah.
From the corridors here in what some call the gateway to Europe. There.
Yeah, KLM would say that.
Yeah, all the reports here pretty much go. So it's small. It's top of the news everywhere, as everything that I could see, and also on the kind of the wider like Euronews and BBC. But I've also been looking at local Dutch TV, of course, and it's pretty much its lead story, and it is. Black kid shot dead, unarmed, white cop. Ferguson protest. South, Missouri, South, Americans. Yes, history. And now the weather. And it's very clear in these reports. It's saying, it is almost what the president said. Well, the verdict came down, even though it's not really a verdict. In fact, it's quite legally, it's quite something different. Americans, racist bastards, particularly in the South. That's the message.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Continuous.
They nailed it.
However, here's the interesting thing. I have been doing real research and flat out saying to people, and when it comes up, because it does, that's what we are, a bunch of crazy racists. We called up our Ku Klux Klan buddies and said, you know what would be funny? Yeah, there's no law involved. But they all, no, we don't think of it that way. It's not working. This is what I find interesting. So I presumed, they're going to be all in. It's working. They're so tired of just every piece of messaging. I think that most people are now saying, it's probably bull crap or whatever. They're indifferent, John. They're indifferent. It could also just be, duh, we know. But they're completely indifferent. No outrage, no nothing, no. This is a complete American media thing. That's all that it is. No one else gives a damn.
Well, that doesn't surprise me. I think they're sick of it, of anything outside themselves.
Yeah, but also historically, what are you doing?
Well, since I'm at the hideaway, the keyboard is a different one than I'm used to using, and it's very noisy.
And you're hitting it with a hammer, or
I'm sorry, this is the way it sounds.
Did you really not think I would hear that, or?
I didn't even consider it.
Yeah, obviously.
No, I didn't, and I'm not going to be able to consider it because I'm not moving it.
But I would have to agree, John. I think that this is This is well orchestrated from what I saw. Of course, it's been building for many, many months.
Yeah, it was instigated.
Yeah,
it was an instigated situation. I mean, play this clip, which I think you want to hear an outrageous story. Play the BB gun clip. Some kid gunned down for no reason. A little kid out in the yard playing with a BB gun.
Yeah.
The shooting of Tamir Rice.
What mattered to me is that it happened in Cleveland, and it happened to a child. It's about the child, loss of his life.
A tragedy for everyone.
I'm asking the residents of this city to continue to pray for this family and to continue to pray for our city.
There's a video of the shooting. Rice's family representatives got to see it because it's part of the investigation, though the public won't for now.
I can assure you that we're very sensitive to the three, our community, the Rice family, and our police officer. We have to be very sensitive to all three of them to decide what we're going to do with that.
Police adding few new details. A caller said a young man was waving a gun that might be fake. The dispatcher did not mention that. Officers claiming Rice pulled a BB gun that looked real out of his waistband before one officer fired.
It was very close.
So again,
Less than 10 feet?
Yes.
The police union standing behind the split-second decision.
They wanted his hands away from that waistband because they knew the gun was there. He unfortunately chose to go down and grab that gun. And
it probably dropped on the ground.
Well, let's move on to a little more of the core.
Well, I also want to mention this. There's JC's friend in it was Nashville or Memphis. I think he's in Nashville, Tennessee. And there's a local story going around. Some cop pulls some guy over, normal middle-class black guy. He says, I need driver's license and registration. The guy reaches into his glove box to get the registration. The cop shoots him in the car, right in the head.
You know, it's funny.
I thought he was going for a gun. Nobody cares about this. There's guys blacks are being shot and killed in Oakland by each other and by the police every other day. This whole thing was a setup from the beginning. It was pinpointed. It was, I'm sure they would like to have the kid not be such a 280-pound bruiser or somebody more, maybe less of a thuggish character.
But they've solved that with the actual image that they now use of him wearing the Beats headphones.
Image of him at 16 or something where he looks pretty innocent. But and they all use that same image. There's a couple of other more frightening images and throwing gang signs and doing other stuff. They don't use those images. And I was watching on NewsHour, and the only image they use is that one kind of very friendly looking little young kid.
So I want to make it very clear. We are only analyzing the media aspect of this, which really, truly, and I don't even think it's that hard to do at this point. This is my problem. I'm seeing how easy it was to put this together over time. They just had enough time, and then to get it going was so simple, John. It was just so easy to put this all together, and they just had to get all the pieces. You need your iconic image. But you're right. I think they wish they would have had something else. But yeah, the things that are happening in if you put it into perspective, this focusing on this one issue is doing one thing and one thing only, politicizing the event for multiple agendas.
Yeah, well, the original agenda we saw was to get people to vote Democrat, because this all began before the primaries.
Right,
and we had to analyze this to an extreme based on that thesis, because they all came in, and they did vote Democrat after that.
Yeah.
But the one meme that was bothering me the most was the one I heard it on NPR, and I started hearing it on the local news, and I heard it over and over again, that the kid was 18 and college bound.
Right, not.
He's always college bound. He's 18 and college bound to make it seem like, oh my God, this the next Einstein. Yeah. Potential Einstein was shot by this horrible policeman who, by the way, had never fired a pistol before in the line of duty.
But this guy had a completely clean record with the community, with everybody.
Yeah, I know.
It's like they chose the wrong guy almost for this to happen to.
But they pulled it off. In fact, I think as an exercise, they showed that, okay, we got the wrong kid that was killed. It should have been somebody more innocent.
Right, exactly.
We got the wrong cop who's not, who's never shot the gun in the line of duty.
Right.
We got everything's wrong, but let's bring in Sharpton and let's make this work, and we can show that we can do it.
Here's Giuliani, who made a lot of waves, I guess, over the weekend on the Sunday shows, which I didn't see, but I did get this one clip of him, which gives you his perspective as mayor of New York, and and I implicate him in a lot of bad stuff. He's not my friend, but here he does kind of lay down some smack.
The amount of crime in the black community is excessive. 70 to 75% of the murders in New York City are committed by blacks. Now, I don't say that out of any racial motivation. I say that as a factual statement and as a plea. Please do something about that. When the president was talking last night about training the police, of course the police should be trained. He also should have spent 15 minutes on training the community to stop killing each other in numbers that are incredible. I think this is a situation in which people have to stop committing so much crime.
Yeah.
If you commit 75% of the murders in a city, 75% of your police presence is going to be concentrated on you.
Yeah. And of course, we cannot deny the militarization of our police forces, which is so wrong on so many fronts. By the way, all the armored personnel vehicles and all that stuff you see in Ferguson, that's not from Ferguson. That's from St. Louis. That St. Louis came in, immediately took over the investigation, that the Ferguson Police Department has not had the evidence and been able to do their own investigation of something that happened in their town.
Yeah.
And that's just, that shows you the level of how this has been manipulated. And what bothers me, John, is you get this I scan Facebook a little bit. Oh man, then people saying I'm embarrassed to be white. It's like all of this is about cops and civilians and the police state and poverty and of course life is not fair in so many ways.
Play. We just give people, especially our international audience, a little taste of this militarization of the police department. Play the clip SWAT Edit.
Okay, coming at you.
In London, this is The Economist. When criminals are heavily armed, the police understandably want to be heavily armed too to protect themselves. But there's been a huge rise in the number of SWAT raids in recent years, and some say it's gone too far. I'm Robert Guest, The Economist's US editor, and I'm joined on the line by John Fassman, our correspondent in Atlanta. John, can you explain to our foreign listeners exactly what a SWAT team is?
SWAT stands for Special Weapons and Tactics, and it refers to paramilitary units of police forces. These are policemen who carry military-grade weapons, assault rifles and things like that, often travel in armored personnel carriers. And it was created, the first SWAT team was created in Los Angeles in the late 1960s to respond to violent civil unrest. And the idea was that police needed a unit that could respond to situations, hostage situations, people barricaded in buildings, that could respond with overwhelming force. The problem is that we've gone from having a few hundred raids a year in the 1970s to about 100 a day. And most of these are not in response to life-threatening situations. Most of these are drug warrants being served on private residences.
So you mean it's not that the suspected criminal in the house has threatened to kill anyone or is known to be violent, but simply that the police wish to serve a warrant on him and they choose to do it by sending in a heavily armed SWAT team. Is that right?
Right. You have a warrant that says, this person may have a half dozen marijuana plants in his basement. And so instead of sending 2 or 4 police officers, you send a 16-person SWAT team in an armored personnel carrier. And they serve the warrants usually very early in the morning.
Isn't that why, dogs do that thing to themselves? Same reason? Just because you got it. It's there. That's why we do it.
Yeah. Often they'll bang down the door and throw in a flashbang grenade, which is designed to blind and deafen the people inside.
For your weed.
Radley Balco, who has released a book on police militarization called Rise of the Warrior Cop, has counted 50 innocent people killed in botched SWAT raids.
Fear is freedom. Subjugation is liberation. Contradiction is truth. Those are the facts of this world. And you will all surrender to them. You pigs in human clothing.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, that's where it's going. And I have a warm heart towards servicemen and women of all kinds, including the police. I know a lot of them, just all my life. I don't know, maybe a minor fireman police groupie. But, this is Americans in particular. We're kind of simple. And we really, and I say this to people all the time. If you come to America and you're in a store and someone says, have a nice day. Unlike other cultures, we really mean one thing. Hey, you just have a nice day. We're not sarcastic. We have no secondary agenda. We're simple. Hey, man, have a nice day. And then we're on to the next thing. So when you say you've got to defend the homeland and terrorists, and I saw this I forgot to tell you when we were at Grand Central Station. You have troopers walking around, but then you also have 2 at each entrance, full, I don't know if it's reserve or what they are, but military. I'm going to protect the station. It's like, this is all you have to do to us, and then it's how simple we are.
I didn't know they had armed guards around Grand Central Station anymore.
Inside, yeah.
Huh.
Now, of course, so the agenda, I believe, is, just make everybody angry, just keep everybody really occupied with all this bull crap. And, it's also weakening the spirit, it's breaking patriotism. Excuse me, I have something in my throat. It's a tear that's in my throat is what it is. It's just, it's breaking the psyche of a country, and it's sad, unfortunate. And here's MSNBC, who, of course, have no viewers. But they're more like an infomercial channel, and I'm sure they're at this point they got to be getting paid for stuff like that. Ronan Sinatra, who is reading everything.
Reverend Al Sharpton, along with attorneys for Michael Brown's family, Benjamin Crump and Anthony Gray, giving their first remarks since the incendiary announcement in Ferguson last night.
The incendiary announcement.
It was an announcement. What was incendiary about it? Incendiary implies that you're like shaking your fist and you're yelling and screaming and saying burn down the place, like the incendiary comments of Michael Brown's dad.
His stepdad. I have that full clip. Have you heard the full clip?
No.
Oh, you've probably seen a snippet of it, or...
I saw a snippet. I couldn't understand him, so I didn't bother.
He's saying burn the bitch down, burn this bitch down, burn this bitch down.
It's insane.
I think we can agree that is the definition of incendiary.
That's incendiary. And then, of course, MSNBC obviously mentioned that.
No, they don't even play that clip. Stop trying to fool me. Here is MSNBC once again. This is more fun. There's a guy on, Michael Denzel Smith. I guess he maybe calls himself Denzel. Maybe throws that in there. Michael Denzel, and it's Michael with a Y. And an A. Mychal. Cool. Michael Denzel Smith. And he must be from some organization. I'll give you the question and his answer. And just listen to the historical knowledge.
We were supposed to have this conversation and deal with this on a national level in the Trayvon Martin instance, and clearly we have not. What does that mean for this country, that we really have not dealt with it?
Well, we have this conversation over and over again. The problem is, one, people come to the conversation with a sort of amnesia and forget that we had it before, and then also that the parameters of the conversation are so narrowly defined as to define racism as a personal hatred towards black people, and we're not then dealing with the systemic ideas that uphold racism and white supremacy in this country, and then lead to a death of a Trayvon Martin or Michael Brown or Renisha McBride or Rakia Boyd.
Let's throw all the names and memes.
Hold on.
This guy is a writer for The Nation.
Oh, really? Makes sense.
Yeah, and a blogger.
Here comes.
On and on and on and on. What we refuse to deal with.
Well, you ready? Are you ready to deal with it, John?
I'm ready to deal with it.
Is the idea, the fact that the foundation of this country is racism and white supremacy, and we are.
Fact.
Who knew?
Fact.
Fact.
What would you expect the host to say at this point?
This host should say, that's an outrageous assertion. You shouldn't even be on the air, let alone writing for any sort of national magazine, even though The Nation's a piece of shit.
Let's see if she said
That's what they said.
All of our institutions uphold that.
Depressing, and yet it's really actually a hopeful sign that the two of you are out there among so many other people trying to keep this going and keep people's spirits going.
Spreading these lies to keep people's spirits going. We're
unbelievable.
Racism and what's the second thing he said?
White supremacy
is the foundation
apparently apparently George Washington was a member of the Ku Klux Klan early on.
Dealt what we refuse to deal with.
Let me hear it again. We refuse to deal with. I want to deal with it.
Is the idea, the fact that the foundation of this country is racism and white supremacy, and we are all of our institutions uphold that.
Yeah, all our institutions uphold that. Huh. What does that mean?
That means that it continues to this day.
It's systemic.
Exactly. It's systemic.
You should have said that.
It's because it was the foundation. What are you going to do? So what is this guy going to do about it?
Oh, I don't care. Doesn't matter.
Let me read his bio on the Nation's
website. Douchebag.
Michael Smith is a douchebag and a contributing writer at The Nation, a blogger at The Nation, and a Nobler fellow.
A Nobler? Whoa, hold on. Yeah, what's a Nobler?
That doesn't sound right.
Is it with
at
a K?
The Nation Institute. He's also a freelance writer and social commentator. His work on race, politics, social justice, pop culture, hip-hop, of course, mental health, feminism, and black male identity has appeared in various publications, including the Guardian.
But John, this works so well. This racism is something that is so.
They're trying to start a race war.
Yeah, it really is. And I'd like to say to everybody, this is crazy. What you're seeing on TV, it really is part of a script. I mean, it's crikey. It's like we're in the Matrix in a way. It's really true. If this is just part of it, and I don't think anyone sees this anymore. I don't think they see how this. Yeah, okay. So there's something happened. Definitely, pockets of it pop up everywhere. It's starting to work, and then we're going to have this. It's really divisive. This idea of white privilege, supremacy, race. Come on, we got problems, but this is not the way to solve it. It's. I don't know. It's maddening. I don't see why people are stupid. There you go. Yeah.
You're going off.
I know. You're
off the rails.
Hey, I need to stop for 1 second. Miss Mickey is in Los Angeles, and she's there with my Jewish handlers.
Okay,
you know the ones.
Yeah, those women,
the power lesbians.
Yes, the power lesbians.
Yeah. God, they're listening. I know they're sitting there right now, and they're going to crunch me. Can you ask John what is the best wine to serve with turkey
right now? Oh, I think they're in the process of needing this advice, and we probably should take a break after I give this advice.
That's a great idea. Great idea.
Well, one of the really good wines with turkey, believe it or not, is Beaujolais. And it's a refreshing wine. It cuts through especially most turkeys that have that turkey flavor as opposed to a good heritage bird that tastes like pheasant. Oh. But the classic turkey's got that stench. And you need a high acidity wine. And I've always found the best is either a Beaujolais is really good. A good Pinot would also work. But a Beaujolais would probably be the absolute best choice. And from a good vintage, and not just Beaujolais, cheap Beaujolais, but like a Morgon or a Fleury.
All right, I'm going to help you wrap it up right now. Let's presume they have a bird that's a little stinky, but not exactly stinky enough. But I think they're going to do a pretty good job because I know Ave.
I would say
she's going to cook a great bird.
A good Beaujolais, which is cheap, or if you want to just kind of go for it, find a good, and there's lots of them. A good Oregon Pinot that would go pretty good.
An Oregon Pinot, would that be the one that would be your final choice?
No, my final choice is Beaujolais.
Okay, Beaujolais.
You can try to make me change my mind, but I'm not going to do it.
And Beaujolais, and then which one? Can you give us a year?
I think the last few years are all pretty decent, so it doesn't really make any difference. Whatever you can find.
Whatever you can find, Beaujolais.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Oh,
John, get a couple bottles.
Hey, I with that, man, I want to thank you for your courage.
It's also, by the way, it's good for basting.
And I'll say, in the morning to you, John C. Dvorak.
Oh, by the way, the Beaujolais could be chilled, too, which adds a little dimensionality to it.
Where the C stands for chef.
I'm John C. Dvorak. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not at the beginning of the show. Well, in the morning to you, Adam Curry.
Yes.
In the morning to all the boots on the ground, feet in the air, subs in the water, and all the dames and knights out there.
And in the morning, everybody in the chat room, even on this day of thanks, we see some of our citizens from Gitmo Nation proper showing up. Nice to see you there, noagendastream.com. Thank you. And in the morning to our artists who are always helping us out with the best album art in the business. Nick the Rat had a nice piece for...
Scored.
He did. Scored for us.
And that's funny because the show started an hour early, but apparently Nick was on the ball.
Yeah, and
so maybe he received the bat signal. He may be a subscriber.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, all right. We do have some people to thank as executive and associate executive producers for show 673, and I want to thank them now. And at the top of the list is Sir Don Tommaso di Toronto, who mailed in and he came in with $543.21, and he came in from Kettleby, Ontario, with a note that came in through email.
Oh, nice. Do you have it?
I do. I found it.
Okay, good.
That was all the clacking I was doing. I said, I got to get his note.
Is it one of those really deep dish type IBM keyboards like that used to connect to the PS2? Is that kind of what I'm thinking?
It's a Microsoft keyboard.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to hit the return key a couple of times. You can hear what it sounds like.
Yeah, those are actually quite nice if they don't stick. They have a real nice travel, a nice push.
Yeah, no, it's a good keyboard.
Yeah. But if it's
Except
a little old,
the problem with this particular keyboard is that it feels good. It has the right everything going on, the spacing and all, but the keys are so poorly printed that, for example, the M, the ink that says M is gone.
It's next to the N.
Yes, I see that, but the N is going.
No, aren't you a touch typist? Does it matter?
I am a touch typist, but I'm not that good.
Okay.
Dear, way ahead of their time, guys. That refers to us. I know it's U.S. Thanksgiving and donations may be sparse, so I'm doing my part. WRT Ferguson. What I cannot believe the incendiary provocation that passes for news coverage by the likes of CNN. These people should
he used the incendiary word.
He did.
Third time I've heard it.
By the likes of CNN, these people should be indicted for inciting violence.
Yeah.
No Agenda coverage and the No Agenda newsletter have been spot on with their deconstruction of this story weeks before these events unfolded, actually before the primaries. We were all over it.
That's right.
Every listener to this show should stop and reflect on the accuracy and thoroughness to which the analysis of these current events has been presented on this show over the last few episodes. I encourage everyone listening to today's show to contribute something, anything, if for this one reason alone. This is the only place in media that confirms some of the thoughts you, the listener, already have about some of these misrepresented current events and the motives behind them. For today's show, I will open one of my newly bottled 2013 home vintage unoaked Merlot.
Oh wait. Let's drink together. I have today a Three Oaks Shiraz from Australia. €3.20.
Oh, brother.
With a screw cap.
Yes, that would be something. In other words, by the end of the show, you will guaranteed have a headache.
Boy, I'm going to have one glass.
I hear it on it being I want to finish the note. Unoaked Merlot, organic, biodynamic, Ontario, Canada grapes through 2013 was a pretty crappy year in a pretty crappy region, followed by some grappa distilled from the same pumice and settle it to thoroughly enjoy your fine material. Settle in to thoroughly enjoy your fine analysis.
See,
in the spirit of U.S. Thanksgiving, I offer you both my gratitude for hours and hours of quality news and entertainment and wish to say thank you.
Oh, thank you. I just wanted to hear that description, and I'm pretending that's what I'm drinking here.
How is it?
No. It's that. No.
I can already tell.
No.
It's no good.
No good. Nope.
Anyway, Amy Pousson in Clive, Iowa. $456.78. That's very nice. Best podcast in the universe. Got me through 2 months of driving from Des Moines to Bettendorf, Iowa. All settled in a new house and new job in the Des Moines area. Keep up the great work, boys. And all she wants is a boom shakalaka kid version.
Yeah.
Please.
And I can imagine if you're moving, and it's just you or you're just moving in general, And, you back and forth. We were her friends. We were kind of like virtual part of the moving team.
Yeah, that's true. Hopefully she'll still listen. Now she's not driving so much.
I'm going to add a karma to it, if you don't mind. I think she can have it.
Boom shakalaka! Boom shakalaka!
You've got karma.
It's been 4 days since I heard the kid. I missed him already.
Robert, I guess it's Wida or Wida. W-I-E-D-A in New York City. 432. And all he says is just he donated because of the newsletter pick.
Which one?
LOL.
Which one?
Now that brings us to the question: which pick?
Yeah,
I think it was the Megyn Kelly photo.
Yeah, I read that article that you put. That was a good article. I like that about the news models. They're
about
great.
The news, yeah.
No, I think it was the dog and the cat at the bottom.
The dog and the cat pick was good, but the Megyn Kelly pick was, I think, a little more interesting. Nice heels, by the way.
Well, she was still a bit untrained.
No, she was obviously never a model.
No.
But she was trying to be. And what's the point of that? Is that seat that uncomfortable? That's why I was going to put a caption. Trying to sit in an uncomfortable chair. What's the reason for squirming all around like that? People should be subscribing to the newsletter where you'll know what we're talking about.
Exactly.
And finally...
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Innocent slaves of Get No Nation, please rise in recognition of Sir David Foley, Grand Duke of the United States of America. Fuck yeah. Foley!
So David Foley, Grand Duke of the United States, $333.33 out of San Jose, the capital of the United States, apparently. Yeah. Happy Thanksgiving from the greats. What? He's in Maine.
He's in Maine, yeah.
Oh, he was traveling.
His brother has a house up there, like a family house or something, and like a million kids. Yeah. Excuse me, as a million
Happy
people.
Thanksgiving from the great state of Maine, wishing Adam and John, all of the NA and all of the NA listeners, a safe and happy holiday.
Thank you, Sir David Foley, Grand Duke of the United States of America. You serve your protectorate well, sir.
Well, he's the boss. Sir Otaku, Sir Otaku, KF5, what is it? SVR? Yeah.
Sierra Victor Romeo.
Yeah. Kevin Foley, 5, Sarah Victor Romeo.
That would do
in
it.
Louisville, that's actually the way it's pronounced there. Louisville, Texas, 23456. ITM, John and Adam, enjoying the great work of you two doing with the deconstructing current events and the best podcast in the universe. All of my prepper friends here in Texas are stockpiling weapons and ammo to prepare for the police state.
We're there with you. Hey, brother, I'm bringing my boxes.
First of all, let's start to make something clear. The police state that he says, the police state that is about to come as a result of the Ferguson protest.
Yeah.
The police state is here.
It's here. Yeah, I agree.
And don't get, what's the point of stockpiling anything?
I think what he means, which is not going to happen, but what he's talking about is martial law. This is the kind of the conspiracy.
All those other guys that do shows that try to deconstruct news stories.
Yeah, they talk about
that
martial
and
law.
iodine pills.
Yeah. So that is not what is happening. It is
seeds. Buy seeds.
And
get heirloom seeds.
Storable food.
Get canned foods.
Yeah.
Solar energy plates.
These guys. Look, we're making fun of you. We are.
Yes, we are. Of course.
Because that really is just not going to happen. Maybe a couple generations down the line, it'll just be. It'll be so deteriorated. That'll just be life. It's not going to be like one big event. It's just, hey, it was cheaper to have this dried food.
He does make a good point here, though.
Yeah. Oh.
I had to think twice about donating since I could have bought a lot of bullets with this donation.
Yeah.
But I felt the money would be better spent by donating to the show since the two of you seem to be dead on what's going to happen next. Hope you all have enough ammo to weather the storm. Okay?
Well, I mean, I don't want them to be too freaked out. You know, being prepared is good. We have all kinds of stuff that we'll need to be prepared for, but it's not going to be some kind of apocalyptic moment that'll fit into like 20-minute episode of Revolution.
My favorite thing that you see this occasionally is that because I live in the San Francisco Bay Area, so you hear this even on the news. Oh, you have to have an earthquake kit. Oh, make sure you have like 20 gallons of water,
a shortwave radio,
and a crank radio. You can crank,
which you can get from NPR. You can get that from NPR. Your hand crank radio and flashlight combo.
Crank, and so all this stuff. I'm thinking to myself, I get in my car, I go down the Highway 80, I drive to Sacramento and check into a motel. Why do I need all this crap for? And I go to some restaurants while I'm up there.
Right.
This is bull crap.
Yeah. So,
let me just continue.
We made our point.
Sir Norman McDonough in Woodstock, Ontario, 23456. Now, I want to discuss. Occasionally, I mention the random number theory where things happen in bunches. If you actually do a random number generator and make a chart of time and like a time analysis chart when the numbers crop up and how they crop up, and you look at it in 3D, you'll see like planes of numbers. And this is what accounts for runs at the crap table. Somebody makes 25 passes out of the blue, then it never happens again in the lifetime of the table. This donation from Sir Norman McDonough, 23456, was the immediate, within seconds, of the Sir Otaku 23456 donation, with nothing in between. And these are the only 23456 donations. And unless they were coordinating with each other, only the random number theory explains this phenomenon.
Coincidence or not? Read the book now from Time Life.
It went like this. The donations came in 23456, 23456, and then 12345.
John,
bang, bang, and then the rest of them were just real random. It was just very strange.
When this happened, did you dance a little jig?
No, but I called in Mimi.
And did you say, Mimi? You won't
check this out.
You won't believe what I'm seeing here. Nice.
Anyway,
you kids are cute.
I'll read the note. That Sir Norman and happy U.S. Thanksgiving. May I have a Reverend Al not knowing the difference between Ottawa and Iowa. But good luck finding that. Followed by Hillary shouting, "What difference does it make?" Followed by, "And her head is gone." If can't find it, any Reverend Al selection will do.
Chloe, let me go to you first. What's the latest tonight in Iowa?
Well, in Ottawa, the situation is less tense than before.
What difference at this point does it make?
And her head is gone.
There's no real conflict.
You've got karma.
Hey. How'd I do?
Nice. Sir D.H. Slade, you could have potted up Hillary a little bit.
I'm on the mobile. I got the small mixer. The small mixer. You just
Sir D.H. Slammer.
What difference does it make?
234. At this point, what difference does it make? 23433. Donation is $1 for every episode since I was hit in the mouth by Luck Dragon via Zero Hedge Chat X2. Okay. Plus 33 because happy TG to the best podcasters in the universe and Meditante Chumash for may you walk in peace. To all the No Agenda producers, sending Turkey Day love to my ruler according to Adam, Dame Bang Bang, and all three Bang Slammer ankle biters. You all know the world to me. You all mean the world to me, and you're the only reason I show up to work every day. TYFYC.
The best podcast in the universe.
Oh, I'm humbled.
Yeah. Now here we have David Kate, and I didn't notice he has no note, so I'm going to do a quick search on him on the email.
No, I think David has sent me like a million tweets. He was drunk, and then he wasn't drunk. I'm not so sure what I'm supposed to.
Here it is. I got it.
Yeah.
David Kate, 23333 from Malibu, California.
Yeah.
Do not read this.
You see,
you got some complicated complaint which we don't understand.
No, I understand it very well.
Okay, you do good.
But
Here's to the best podcast in the universe. I'm still promoting the film Aftermath, which comes out tomorrow at the Quad Cinema.
Which I hear is a dynamite film. Right, John?
I don't know.
Yeah, right, John?
Yeah.
Perfect.
For the No Agenda listeners, let me first talk about Thomas Farone, the writer and director. He has an eye like Stanley Kubrick and writes like in the vein of Quentin Tarantino. Aftermath's an intimate look at the world gone mad with many memorable characters. Anthony Michael Hall brilliantly portrays the epitome of an American alpha male, driven by lust, greed, and power, balanced by Chris Penn's heartbreaking real portrait of a simple man.
I really can't wait to see Anthony Michael Hall again in something. Right, John?
Yeah, I think it'd be great.
Right?
Dave LaDouche.
Yeah.
Is the actual name of our donor.
Dave LaDouche.
By the way, I went to see Birdman.
Yeah, is it any good?
Oh, it's
outstanding.
astonishingly entertaining. It's a fantastic film. If you don't like it, you're soulless. It is a great, great movie.
Hey, you can see if they can put that on the TV commercial. If you don't like it, you're soulless. John C. Dvorak, No Agenda Podcast. They could do that. They could have that on the billboards. That's a great quote.
It is a great quote.
How do you do that? How do you go market that?
I don't care to.
No, listen, we could be on billboards because they'll say John C. Dvorak, No Agenda Podcast.
So the marketing system for these movies gets done early, and they don't change it. Okay. It's done. It's over.
All right. We're out. SOL.
Guy
Boazzi. Sir Guy Boazzi.
Sir Guy Boazzi.
I say Guy, but he may say Guy.
201, Guy.
It's been a long time.
20101. He's in Israel. It's been quite a long time since my last donation. For this, I'm very sorry. The value provided by you two is phenomenal. After listening to the rundown of Adam meeting with Uncle Don, I continue to fail to understand how none of the mass media outlets ever get it right. But you two, with no staff or resources,
or education,
get it right every time.
Or education.
Keep up the good work and keep calm. Please send me a boom shakalaka job karma since I'm soon be looking for one.
I'm sorry, I wasn't quite ready for that. I think it's Guy. Why do I think it's Guy? That would be more French.
Well, that's because it's French. That's the way it would be French and Guy. It could be Guy. There are guys named Guy.
Yeah, hey Guy. How you doing, Guy? It's Sir Guy to you.
Bingo, boom, boom, chakalaka, boom, 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 chakalaka, boom.
Jobs, 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 and jobs. Let's vote for jobs.
Robert Kane in Columbiana, Alabama. $200.73. Just a small way of saying thanks for the hard work you guys do throughout the year. I couldn't let Thanksgiving go by without saying thanks for the hard work and dedication to making the best podcast in the universe. Thanks to for calling each other out on improving grammar.
Yes.
As a public speaker myself, it has helped me immensely.
Oh, well, this is good news.
Keep it up.
Yeah.
Also, I just finished, but most people don't
hold
care
on,
for it, by the way.
Can I ask you a question?
Just saying.
I want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Has it been us doing this on the show that has improved his speaking?
Yeah. Well, we make people aware of certain commonplaces like the fact of the matter.
Or right.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. Or listen.
Or yeah, no.
Yeah, which I still haven't caught myself doing it.
Don't worry. Within the next 10 minutes.
At least I've gotten down to lip smacking, which I find. I'm glad. The guy was so mean too. You guys.
I know he hurt our feelings, but he was right. That's the bad part.
Yeah, well, I really appreciate that sort of input because I apparently was doing it, and I started catching myself. I said, "Oh my God!"
All right.
Anyway, he also just finished Pot Shards. Adam, please extend my thanks to your Uncle Don for sharing his life with us.
Yeah.
It was the name of a book for anyone newbies out there, Pot Shards.
Pot Shards.
While the word inspirational is overused in today's world, I can think of no other word to describe it. The conversational tone of the book made me feel like I was sitting on the porch with Uncle Don listening to him tell us about his remarkable life. Rather than a specific jingle, John, why don't you pick out one that makes you happy, and perhaps Adam could pick one that would give Uncle Don a chuckle.
Okay.
Thanks for all you do. 73, Robert Kane, 4 IXT.
Kilo Fox 5, Sugar Lima, November, 7 3s to you. That's how you got to do it, John. That's a professional amateur radio call sign-off that you heard just there. Or here's, I'll be clear.
If you're a professional, you're not an amateur.
Hold on.
That makes no sense.
A professional amateur. And you always say, but I'll be clear on your final. Oh, man. It sounds gay.
I think it is.
Yeah. All right. So what's your choice?
It refers to wearing a condom, I believe.
Yeah. What's your choice?
I still like the little Calypso song.
Just took me a second there. Yeah, I know what you want. I got it right here. How come it's not firing?
Ebola. We come from Africa.
That's your favorite.
At the moment.
And here's one I think Uncle Don would like. And do you have to put a karma in there? Is that the idea?
Yeah.
Something strange. Oh, I'm sorry. Here we go. It's working now.
Don't laugh.
There you go.
Why are you laughing?
You've got
Shut up.
karma.
Shut up.
Shut up.
I know.
Shut up.
Uncle Don does those voices so well of the foreign leaders.
Oh, does he now?
Oh, yeah. It's completely racist when you think about it.
Oh, yeah.
But when he does it, it's just phenomenal racist.
And I'm sure that in those countries that they never do anything like that.
No.
Mocking the Americans.
Oh, no. Was that
Joseph Frost?
There we go. Wow.
Joseph Frost, Wooddale, Illinois, 200. Gentlemen, it's been a long time since I've donated. Please send me some job karma so I can get out of my shitty predicament and into some greener pastures. Please send me some 69 karma so I can get laid. Okay, give me everything under the sun. I'm desperate. Pile it on.
Is he ready for it?
Yeah, I guess.
69, dudes.
You've got karma.
It's one way to unretire a jingle, I guess.
Ronald Dreslinski Jr. Sterling Heights, Michigan, 200. I just heard Obama pardon 2 turkeys named Mac and Cheese. Yeah. That made me think of the show and how I haven't donated in a while.
Hey.
This donation is to remedy that. Can I get a de-douching followed by your favorite Mac and Cheese clip and karma?
Wow. Wait a minute. We actually made something off of that Mac and Cheese thing.
Yeah.
It worked.
Thank you,
great.
Obama.
You've been de-douched.
You slaves can get used to mac and cheese, cheap macaroni and cheap cheddar melted together.
Mac and cheese.
Living the mac and cheese life.
Mac and Cheese by Ayn Rand.
You've got karma.
So tight you couldn't get your in there.
David Alston in Yukon, Oklahoma, $200. Please let me know how close I am to being a knight. Well, you're supposed to do the accounting, but we can look into it. My wife and I listen on the way to the gym twice a week. Okay.
That's nice.
Joseph Capotti. Is it Capotti? Yeah, Capotti.
Do you think they listen while they're working out as well, or just on the way to the gym?
A lot of people do.
But together? So they have to be very close then if they're listening on the same device. I'm just thinking logistics. That's all. I'm just thinking logistics.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're saying.
I'm just interested.
Oops, I just opened and closed something.
Oops.
Back. David Joseph Capotti in Chesapeake City, Maryland, $200. He goes, there's no note here, so I have to assume, and I believe he did send in an email. So let's go to the email. I should have done this earlier, of course.
Yeah.
How do you spell Capotti? C-A-P.
Capotti, Capici, Charlie Alpha, Papa Alpha, Tango, India. Between me giving you the code and that Microsoft keyboard from 1962.
Sorry about the keyboard.
This is quite a show.
There is no Capotti's email from anyone. Let me look at it. He sent his email to PayPal. Let me just.
This is
throw that in this. Well, a lot of people don't have to be mentioned. It's not like it's like a lot of people like it. A lot of people don't like it.
Shall I see if there's a Capotti?
Nothing. There's no Joe Capotti.
I don't remember any Capotti either.
Okay. Well, Joe, thank you very much for the $200. That concludes, actually, the donation segment for the producers and executive producers. You'll be an executive producer, associate executive producer, I'm sorry. And remind you that we do have a show on Sunday in this short week, and everyone's on. Now, this is the problem. Now, from today, tomorrow, everyone's on vacation. Everyone's still on vacation on Saturday. Nobody will be listening to the show on Sunday. Dvorak.org/NA and see if we can get some support for that show. Besides,
why will no one be listening?
Because they're gone. They're having fun. They're at the beach. They're on a boat. They're doing water skiing. They're digging out from the snow if they're back east. They're freezing their butts off if there's some places where they really aren't used to this sort of weather that they're having back there. Or they're, who knows? They just won't. We'll see. I beg you to help us for the next show.
Wow, that kind of threw me for a loop there. I'm like, no one's going to listen. But I was thinking, I'm rushing home
for a loop.
I'm frying home tomorrow.
Tomorrow, really?
Yeah, because I'm home Friday night, and then Saturday I can prep and get up early Sunday and do the show. Yeah, my life I mold my life around this activity known as the show.
So on Friday you're flying. Well, but you pick up time flying from you're flying from Holland to Atlanta.
Listen, what's that? So Mickey, before she left for LA, all the toilets were clogged.
I thought she was in LA when you left.
No, I left first. She left.
Does Mickey know how to use a plunger?
I think this may be a little more severe. I think it's something structural in the. That was not That was a very condescending way you said that. By the way,
I'm sorry, Mickey.
Yeah, you should be. You'd be ashamed of yourself. Yeah, she could take that plunger and she would suck the life through your a-hole.
Well, I'm just saying it's possible you don't have a plunger in the place. I'll bet you don't.
Onward.
All right.
I bet you're right. I usually just put my fist in, then I put my hand flat onto the onto the hole. Oh, you've done it with your foot? I do it with my hands.
I've never used I have a plunger. There's always a plunger around somewhere.
Yeah, we have a plunger, but I'm not quite sure where it wound up after the move.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't know. It's an essential tool. You're right. It's stupid. I don't know where the plunger is, but she knows how to use it, is my point.
Okay. I just was asking.
Now, come on.
You're reading too much into this. It's like email. It's a problem with email.
But I'm talking. You're hearing me. I'm hearing what you said. This is not like email at all.
It's exactly the same.
All right, everybody. Thank you very much. And yes, as John pointed out, these are real credits. I don't know if you pointed out. He said.
No, I never pointed out. You pointed out.
This is going to be no one listening on Sunday. Is what you pointed out.
Yes.
I am pointing out that these credits are real and that we appreciate the support that our executive producers and associate executive producers have given us. We'll have a larger segment later on. And yes, indeed, we will need all the support we can get for this upcoming show.
Dvorak.org/NA.
And even as you're hanging out, well, actually, with your family, why not try to propagate the formula today?
Our formula is this. We go out, we hit people in the mouth.
Shut up, slave.
Shut up, slave.
John doesn't realize it merely helps you dodge a bullet, my friend.
Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Because I could expect a sharp punch in the arm.
Yeah. From Mimi.
You mean I can't use a plunger? Boom!
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, no. You better be very careful where you walk, my friend.
Well, we're going to finish the Ferguson stuff. Yeah, I got a bunch of clips.
Yes. No, I'd love to. We had my European kind of response. They're just not buying it. This propaganda doesn't work on the Europeans. It doesn't.
It's not about them. It's about the Democrats versus the Republicans.
Which is exactly why it's so obvious what is going on, that it is tailored propaganda. Because there's
to get people to vote, in this case, for Democrats.
Yes.
Because those evil Republicans, and they're always cited as such. Oh, the racist Republicans.
Yes, this is what it is. Yes. From the South. They're crazy.
And apparently, the founding fathers are all Republicans. Apparently,
oh really? That's.
I mean, if you listen to the way they explain things,
yeah. And were they all like racist? They were slaveholders. I forgot.
No, not all of them. That's not true.
No, I'm just being a MSNBC correspondent right now. All right.
Now we have a bunch of. We can play the Brian. I got NBC's rollout. Here's the intro, the Brian Williams intro, so we can get it, especially for the international audience. And the Australians probably we don't have any input from what they're thinking. Probably nothing, which would be right.
It's funny. Yeah, I have nothing from down under.
Good. Brian Williams intro.
And good evening on a cold night here in Ferguson, Missouri. The epicenter of it all last night. It was along this very stretch of roadway that the finding of a grand jury was converted to violence that raged here last night. And make no mistake, it was urban combat. There are still shell casings here underfoot. A police command.
Hold on a second. Urban combat?
Yeah. Shell casings underfoot.
There's no evidence.
So as he's walking along, he's stepping on shells.
There's no evidence of an urban combat.
Yeah.
Said last night that first volley of tear gas they fired was because officers encountered so many guns within the crowd they were worried they may not make it out of there. Some of the protesters then turned to forcible entry. Then the looting and the fire started. Cars and businesses mostly. 25 structures torched in all. 82 arrests were made last night. All of it because a grand jury did not return an indictment against the white police officer who shot and killed Michael Brown, an unarmed black teenager. There were protests in other cities last night as well, but nothing like this. And tonight we know more about the grand jury proceeding and the toll from what happened here.
You know, in a way, though, John, I know that I made this conclusion a couple of shows ago. Just being out here, and I've been talking to cab drivers and Uber drivers. These are the ones you want to talk to. And they all universally agree that what has been happening over here, with the Black Pete situation, is really just a byproduct of people being, incredibly mad about stuff, just mad, or no job, or both,
Black Pete.
And then you go, make a big fuss about essentially, but. Fictitious characters.
Let's make a fuss about a fictitious character.
Yeah, it's a fairy tale.
That's
it's for kids.
Absolutely the case. I felt it was the same thing in Ferguson. It's pent-up hostility. So I thought it was interesting to play the clip about the militarization of the police, which pisses people off. They don't need to be going in and every time I bring this up at the table here, Mimi always chimes in with, and every cop, when they do anything, they shoot a dog.
What?
There's so many documented cops go in, a dog barks, they shoot the dog.
They shoot the dog, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And so there's dog shootings, which doesn't endear the police to anybody. Why are they shooting dogs? Oh, the dog snarled, the dog growled.
Yeah, well, I felt
John, threatened by the dog.
But John, I'm just going to take the police side of this, if you don't mind, just for argument's sake, so it could be a little controversial to each other. These guys, they're hyped up. They're completely hyped. I read the memos they get and all this, and the fusion centers and all this stuff. In their world, in their brain, shit's coming apart at the seams too, And then you have all this real violence and people killing each other on a daily basis in their city, and that's black on black crime, and they're frustrated. So I do understand that side of the argument, but all in all, everything that's being portrayed in the mainstream media is only to just make us crazy.
Well, I'm not going to argue the point, but the police do not need SWAT teams to deliver a simple subpoena or whatever.
But they've been made crazy
to the tune of 100 a day.
Yeah, I can't wait for mine. It's going to be very interesting.
Yeah, they'll be outside. And then, of course, there's this, what is it called? There's a name for this where you call the police.
Swatting.
This is a phenomenon. I don't think in Europe, it's any place else they do this. We should explain what it is. Swatting is some joker pranking someone by claiming there's terrorists or they got a kidnapping situation or something's happening at their house. And then they give the address and hang up and the SWAT team shows up.
Yeah.
Drives the machine through the door.
Yeah.
Flashbangs are going
kills
off.
Kills your dog.
Kills the dog, and then they find some guy watching television.
Yeah, but this is what happens. You know how they said it won't happen here. Here we go. This is exactly what this is about. How did the German population become the way it's been written, let me put it that way, and that atrocities could take place.
Yeah,
this is how it happens, where you all sit around and you just get complacent and whatever, and then you just okay, it's fine. and then you're in the middle of it. You can't get out. We're not free. We live under martial law all the time. There's all kinds of stupid rules. Never mind.
Yeah, there's an excessive.
Exactly.
Okay, let's go back to some of these clips.
Yes.
Since they haven't stopped us yet.
Move me along. since they haven't, no SWAT yet.
By the way, just as a slight kind of a sidebar here.
Yes, sidebar.
I'm going to ask you something. It's almost like an ask them. This is part of this because I picked this. I was listening to this theme, the opening theme for NBC Nightly News, and this is the NBC Nightly News. Is this modern? And listen, this is. I want you to listen to this with it in mind that we're in. This is 2014. We're going to be 2015.
And Jetsons era we're in.
Listen to this, the way they open the show and answer me.
Yes.
Is this modern broadcasting is supposed to sound like this?
But can I do my jingle then first, since you have an actual question? Or should I do the jingle after the... I'll do the sound clip first. Here we go. And here we go.
This is NBC Nightly News with Brian Williams, reporting tonight from Ferguson, Missouri.
All right. Now, here we go. Now, the question was, is this a modern, what would you call it? Jingle? Intro.
Yeah, intro.
And I will answer that by no. However, it has all the classic elements of the NBC sound logo. It has the bombastic brass that signals imperialistic, important information coming your way. And it has a feel of velvet gates of love opening up as we see Brian Williams come to us.
I like this imperialistic thing because it sounds like a military thing.
Yeah, you want to hear it again because that's exactly what it is.
I think this is
you never thought about that.
and stupid.
Yeah. It's almost equal to the Olympics.
This is NBC Nightly News with Brian Williams.
This is so
reporting tonight from Ferguson,
in fact,
Missouri.
I think they probably got this they threw it in with the Olympics package for him when they made the, you know how that works. They have a whole jingle package made. Yeah, and they said, we threw in a Brian Williams thing for you, with the big bombastic militaristic.
He's going to be standing there.
The Imperial News. See if you like it.
Yeah, the Imperial News. That's what it should be. Welcome to the Imperial News, citizens. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, well, I know, but
the Imperial News. Let's see where we get the Imperial. That's what NBC is from now on.
The Imperial News.
The Imperial News from NBC. Here's the NBC analysis of Ferguson.
Oh, hold on a second. I'm still writing down Imperial News.
Okay, we'll put it as a show title.
Yeah, we have to do these things on the fly. Okay, NBC, what was it? Analysis of Ferguson. Sorry, I'm back with you.
Ron, thanks. Last night in the skies overhead, arriving commercial flights were turned away from the St. Louis airport due to the threat of stray gunfire into the skies, something we're used to seeing in places like Baghdad. And the vests and helmets our personnel brought here are exactly those that we wore in Baghdad.
Yes.
This violence was sparked by the widespread feeling that...
I wish you would have said it one more time. I almost have the whole Baghdad visual. Did you have it yet? Was it in your head? Were you in the desert?
Talked about the bag, and then he's talked about the helmets, and all the cops are wearing the same helmets.
I'm in there.
Surplus.
Yeah, I'm seeing now we are Taliban now.
Justice wasn't done here. People are asking all day long if there's any other remedy, federal or otherwise, which brings us to our justice correspondent, Pete Williams. And Pete, is there any such thing as a do-over in this case?
No, this can't be undone or redone. The state criminal case is closed, and the way the grand jury was conducted was very unusual because prosecutors don't normally give grand jurors both sides of a case. But the federal government is still investigating the shooting to see if there's enough evidence to prosecute Officer Wilson for violating Michael Brown's civil rights. Even so, to bring a federal case, the Justice Department would have to show that a police officer used excessive force willfully, meaning on purpose, with the knowledge that it was wrong. Federal prosecutors did bring just such a charge in 1991 against L.A. police officers for beating Rodney King, but they had videotape to help prove their case. There's no video of what happened in Ferguson. The federal government would, in essence, have to prove that Officer Wilson did not think he was in danger, and that would be very difficult. The family of Michael Brown could still bring a civil lawsuit against Officer Wilson, which would have a lower standard of proof than in a criminal case. And the Justice Department is also investigating the entire Ferguson Police Department, which could lead to court orders changing how it conducts itself. Right?
Okay, you can kill it from there.
Yeah, it's dead.
Not to go back to the Imperial News thing, but, they're paying Brian Williams this is still on topic. They're paying this guy $14+ million a year. And I think whether it's worth it or not, at least they could bring their game up, you think, with their correspondence. The rest of they have the Imperial aspect, but then it gets really cheesy. Now, I want to play this clip. This is called, here I put MBC, Amateur Hour. This is the reporter that put the package together, and the package is fine, and he seems to be a good editor, but he sounds like he's in high school. This is the network guy.
Right now, Ferguson police are gearing up to protect their headquarters should there be more violence. We begin our coverage here with NBC's Miguel Almaguer. Miguel, good evening.
Brian, good evening. On several city blocks across the city, and including this block right here, you can smell smoke in the air. Many buildings are still smoldering tonight. The street behind me, this neighborhood has been shut down. Police not allowing the public in because they are concerned what buildings haven't been looted will be attacked tonight. Protesters say they are ready. Police are also braced for conflict.
Tonight in Ferguson, the cleanup.
Hope it don't happen again tonight. What am I listening for here? It's a very long clip, It's like 3 minutes.
No, you can kill it anytime you want. I'm just listening to the way I just think it's cheesy. When you start listening to the package, which is now running.
That was pretty much template, though, for all of the networks. This is what I saw.
Something about the presentation. I'd like a little more gravitas from my reporters at the network level.
Yeah, okay. I got you.
I see. You
just get irked about how much money Brian Williams is making. I can hear it in your voice.
Well, that's probably.
You're pissed off about that.
I'm not. That's not any money out of my pocket. I'm not playing a zero-sum game with Brian Williams.
Maybe there was a twinge of envy.
Perhaps.
Okay.
Well, then let's jump to somebody else making even more money, which would be Sharpton in Ferguson.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on.
And why is Sharpton in Ferguson? Of course, we know the answer to that, but it just annoys me. This does annoy me.
We will continue to fight for a new level of accountability of policing in this country.
And what is he going to do about that exactly? That's very
strange. Yeah. It's a big talker.
Michael Brown will not be remembered for the ashes from buildings burned in Ferguson. He will be remembered for new legislation and the upholding of law that protects citizens in the country. Let me also remind you, for over 100 days, young people, older people, people of all races marched and rallied in this city. And they did it peacefully and nonviolently. Yes, those that got violent last night, those that acted in a destructive manner, does not represent the...
Yeah, that is kind of enough. You should be trimming this stuff down, man.
I don't have the resources here.
I have one little thing to add to this. This was some stunning bit of clarity from CNN with actual truth, and this helps underscore our analysis of the setup, really.
The grand jury itself is a dinosaur, okay? There is no need for one. A prosecutor can have an open hearing. A prosecutor can make its own process. He or she can just bring charges. In fact, the prosecutor could still bring charges even after the grand jury. One of the major complaints from sober minds here in Ferguson was that, listen, if this prosecutor wanted to bring a case, he would have just brought it himself, that this was punting. You keep hearing the word punting to put this on a grand jury.
Yeah. Now, it's not all that simple after you've done a grand jury, but yeah, I think the prosecutor had a number of options. This is all just more.
Yes, it's theater.
Well, but actual stuff gets ruined, but yeah, it is theater. It's captured
theater,
well.
But there's no
and by the way, John, can I just ask you, from a theatrical television production standpoint, we need whoever we hired to do the set. The art design and everything.
Art director.
The art director, thank you. But I just always call him the set guy or gal.
Set guy.
Or gal. the season's greetings thing above the street, fucking dynamite. That was, what a nice touch. Really nice touch.
Yeah, that was put up there specifically for the riots.
That was so nice. I was just sitting there going. That was
good. I actually would like to have had that clipped, and I'll put it in the newsletter if I can find it.
I think it was more than subtle. You know, I was like, hey.
No, it was dynamite. It was dynamite.
It really worked. It really worked for me. And it's because it's Thanksgiving season. You know, and there's no riot tonight. I'm going to riot tonight. Crazy. It's Thanksgiving. We're done. Work is done. The people believe it.
Yeah, Sharpton's back. He's on the plane. He's long since gone.
Sharpton's on the jet back.
His private jet.
Yeah, no, it's all good. It's all good.
He did his job.
Well, along with this, the police state, there's a number of things were passed in the past few weeks, actually. There's also a very crazy House bill that passed. I think actually the president signed it. About a whole reset of which departments will no longer have to report on certain things. It's just a deduction of all these reporting responsibilities, but there's just hundreds of them. So much to go through. We need people to get on that beat and look at stuff like. I just don't have the time in the day to look at that. I'm just removing. Yeah, you don't have to report on that anymore. But who knows what these were? But as a part of that, we have this update from the Department of Defense, and they are changing some of their wording. And words matter here on the No Agenda Show. They're changing the definition. Here it is. The military treatment of detained persons. We had unlawful enemy combatants is what it always was. We know that, right?
Yeah.
That term has been retired and now replaced by unprivileged enemy belligerents.
What?
Yes.
Well, that stinks.
Because I think we are belligerent. They have some. Yeah. They have some. Yeah. They have some interesting terminology.
Targeting podcasters, belligerent podcasters, pissed off about $14 million salaries.
So they have these detainee categories, which I just wanted to share with you for a minute. The word detainee includes any person captured, detained, or otherwise under the control of the Department of Defense personnel, which could be the guys at Grand Central Station, for all I know. I guess the Department of Defense. Belligerent, in general, a person who is engaged in hostilities against the U.S. or its multinational partners during an armed conflict.
Let's stop for a minute.
Yes, sir.
They have a. I'm enlisted. You don't have to call me sir.
All right. As you were private.
Was this a pass? This is just terminology, a new terminology bill, so the Defense Department now has to use these terms instead of the other terms. And then I would suspect then it goes to the AP style guys. And then so the media is going to start using the same things instead of making it up as they go along, which they never do, by the way. Yes. They use the official wordage.
Yes, it's a little cooler than that. Because they have actually not just changed words for existing definitions, they've changed definitions of what a belligerent is and under what circumstances a belligerent can be picked up, which is pretty much, you farted wrong. Then we have retained personnel. And there's a really big one coming up. So let me read through these top two descriptions. So we have belligerent, which is no longer combatant, but everything that used to be legal for the U.S. to do, Department of Defense to do to you if you are a combatant, is now for if you are a belligerent. And if you look up the word belligerent, it doesn't say that it has to be during an armed conflict. But okay. In general, a person who is engaged in hostilities against the U.S. or its multinational partners during an armed conflict. The term belligerent includes both privileged belligerent and unprivileged enemy belligerent. And the difference, you are a privileged belligerent if you are wearing a uniform of the other guys. And it literally describes this in great detail, where you have to have a rank and a serial, your serial number and all this stuff. And you have to be a part of a nation state. That's when you are a privileged belligerent and you are protected under the Geneva Convention, I guess. But if you're an unprivileged enemy belligerent, if you have no affiliation, if you're a lone wolf, or
nobody is going to use the word privileged belligerent in the media. The U.S. picked up 35 privileged belligerents today.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. Then we have retained personnel, an individual who is described by Article 28 of the Geneva Convention for the amelioration.
Yeah.
What is that, amelioration?
Amelioration is like a problem that has been kind of solved over a period of time, and it's a resolution. It's a resolved situation. Look it up.
Okay, for the resolved situation of the condition of the wounded and sick in armed forces in the field. So that's about treatment of prisoners who are ill or sick. And then the third one, which caught my eye, civilian internee. And that is any civilian, including those described by Article 4 of the Geneva Convention, relative to the protection of civilian persons in time of war, who is in the custody or control of the Department of Defense during an armed conflict or occupation, such as those held for imperative reasons of security or protection. So we have now the FEMA camps, bring it on. Civilian internee. I guess they need the term. I found that to be...
What do we call these guys, Bill? I don't know. Let's look it up.
Civilian internee.
Okay. I figured it out.
I have an internship with the Department of Defense.
Huh.
Yeah, I know. Oh, so Hagel...
yeah, I got a couple clips on that. I just smacked my lips.
You did. It was quite annoying.
So let's play Hagel 1 so we get a backgrounder on this.
All right. Wow, it's Hagel. I think Hagel with an H-A. You like Hagel, like she's...
Oh, yeah. I'm Hegelian.
Yeah.
Now to a major shakeup in the Obama administration, the resignation of Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel. The move comes as the U.S. expands its mission to go after the Islamic State group, and just weeks after the president's disappointing midterm election results.
It's been the greatest privilege of my life, to lead, and most important, to serve with the men and women of the Defense Department and support their families.
Hagel's announcement came amid widespread reports that he's leaving under pressure after 21 months on the job. Publicly, at least, President Obama offered only praise.
And wow, that's an understatement, what she just said there about rumors. I mean, the New York Times stuck a skewer in this guy's butt and shoved until it came out of the top of his head. Did you read that?
Yeah, it was terrible. And I was trying to figure out why he's quitting. And PBS NewsHour contributed nothing with this Hagel 2 clip. It was just like vague. They never mentioned names. And then it showed up on Fox, of course. But play Hagel 2.
But the underlying problem will still remain. The Secretary of Defense will still have to articulate policy decisions made by a very small circle in the White House. So whether it's a happier face or a more convincing presentation of that, maybe that's possible. But you'll still have to sell the same message.
And meaning what? Meaning what?
Well, it means that the war policy is going to be limited to do the minimum amount possible. The defense budget, approach to the defense budget is not going to change. The White House is sort of happy with the way things are. So whoever follows Secretary Hagel's position, who has the job, will still have the same task at hand to try to carry out.
So, P.J. Crowley, we don't look for a significant policy change or tweaking with the new defense?
I agree with Tom. I don't think this was about disagreements with policy or strategy. But I think we should recognize that this is a very, very tough job.
You can stop. It is about that. In fact, and then finally comes out what the problem is, and this is the next clip, which is Hagel versus, with obviously the the real Secretary of Defense, Susan Rice, the twerp.
Hagel had been standing up to Susan Rice and had sent a memo, in fact, over to the White House suggesting that the White House policy against ISIS needed to take into account removing Bashar Assad. There were those that tension between Susan Rice and Chuck Hagel that came out through the press. Again, we'll get more details as the day goes on, but there have been rumors to this effect for several weeks, especially, excuse me, in light of the election results.
Yeah. You will recall, John, that in my conversation with Uncle Don, he told us that he was no fan of Susan Rice. And he also questioned me what I thought of, he queried me of my thinking of Hagel.
Right.
Which I said, nice guy, he's, been in combat. Don said, he's been wounded. So, he seems like he has all that, but no, he's weak. He's doing nothing. He's just being set up to, end the sequestration. It's not going anywhere. Right. And so I forwarded Don the New York Times article, just thinking, I think I said, hey, happened earlier than I predicted. Something, douchey like that. And he responded, quote, do you want to hear what he said?
Oh, of course.
I just want to beg for it. All right, quote, Washington is a very tough town, and this is a penetrating article. I had sensed all the things that it alluded to during Hagel's tenure. Too bad. Don't you love that?
No fan of Hagel. Too bad.
Washington really is horrible.
I want to mention that my use of the word twerp.
Yes, please do, because people have been
not
you
people.
Hate short people. One guy's
come up, and he's a big fan of ours, and he says, it's a short, using the word twerp. And I tried to explain to him that twerp is not necessary. I mean, twerps generally are short, but I can see, mid-size and even tall twerps. A twerp is a type of person, not a height of a person. There's plenty of tough, small guys and of all sorts of statures, but a twerp is a twerp. It's like a person that's twerpy. They're mousy and they're kind of creepy and they're like a person you just immediately dislike on appearance because of the way they carry themselves and the way they act and the stuff that they do. And that's where that word comes from to me. And that's when I refer to twerp. I do not. Yeah. And she is short. There's no doubt about it. And that makes it even more obvious that she's a twerp.
And, we are very serious about our words here in the No Agenda family. And if I look up the definition of twerp, the definition is a silly, weak-minded, or contemptible person. It says nothing about height or any body stature for that matter. Therefore, you, sir, one-man complainer, you're in contempt.
And you know who you are.
Yes, even the slang version, an insignificant or despicable person. Nothing. It is merely your own vertical challenge issues that have you all up in arms about this.
Yes.
And by the way, as I pointed out, being too tall or tall above average height has disadvantages that are never discussed.
Yeah, I believe that's probably true. You see that when you go to the big and tall place.
Yeah.
People trying to find
how many times have you hit your head? Have you hit your head on a low doorway or something that's just
clunk?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That said, of course, we rule the universe.
So Susan Rice, who is contemptible just by her very being,
yes,
is a twerp.
Yes.
All right. Anyway, onward.
You had yes, more Hagel.
I think it's dumb. The whole thing. It's always gone to be some other. I did get this clip, which is some woman who's apparently sharp. This Flournoy. Who is Flournoy? Flournoy is a funny little clip, I thought. And this actually triggered my doing further research.
Also today, former Undersecretary of Defense Michelle Flournoy has asked the president not to consider her for Secretary of Defense. She led the list of potential replacements for Chuck Hagel, who's resigning. Flournoy. But she's told the board of a Washington think tank that she'll stay there as CEO, citing family consideration.
Okay.
She'd be ruined if she took that job. She probably doesn't like Susan Rice.
No kidding. Who is she?
She's a She was a deputy secretary of defense under somebody or other, one of the guys.
Okay.
Pre-Hagel, I think, maybe not.
So
and
Susan
she
Rice.
runs. She's in a think tank. She's a spook.
Okay, so we have to figure out what's going on with Susan Rice. Where does she get her power? What's her deal? What's her background? How's she connected?
Valerie Jarrett.
Wow, really?
Obviously, they look very similar.
Oh yeah, you're so right. You're so right. Well, you think
it's Valerie Jarrett running the place. Susan Rice, her buddy. She's the one who tried to get into Secretary of State. And then along with the mother-in-law, those three probably run the whole show. Obama doesn't do shit. He's just pushed around by all these women.
All right, Rush Limbaugh. Over in Gitmo Nation East, new powers have been announced. New powers, John. New laws, which are, these are just fantastic. I've often said the United Kingdom is the beta test for everything we're going to see, certainly in the United States, but around the world. As this is really, now I've lived in the UK, so I'm allowed to talk about this with some authority. 5 years in the UK. It's a police state. Cameras everywhere. Everything is being tracked. There's no escaping it. And now these new powers, which of course are incredibly important, are going to give the authorities the power to stop you from leaving the country because they have to question you about why you're going somewhere.
Why?
Yeah, well, that's exactly what they're going to do. Why? This, of course, is
businesses of theirs.
This is to combat terrorism. As people are going to Syria and to become radicalized and hardened in battle as a member of ISIL. Oh, I like that other one I heard in your clip, the Islamic State group, like the Drifters or something.
Yeah, LTD.
And now, everybody, the Islamic State group, LTD. Take it away, guys. Gang. As Casey Kasem would say. And so this had to be announced. Of course, there's copies of these, and I'm not sure it's. It's had the second reading, so it's not law yet. But let me play for you a clip from Theresa May. She is the Secretary of the Homeland, of the Home Secretary, and she is in charge of protecting the homeland. And I just want you to listen to how her statement on this. How she actually starts to tear up about the importance of being able to question you on the street, where you're going, have to have all communications of every website. Your IP address has to be connected to. Each server log has to be passed on. And this is all in this legislation. And listen to how she's selling it to you as if she is saving the world.
This legislation is important. The substance is right. The time is right, and the way in which it has been developed is right. It is not a knee-jerk response to a sudden perceived threat. It is a properly considered, thought-through set of proposals that will help to keep us safe at a time of very significant danger.
Oh.
It builds on a successful strategy. It goes with the grain of existing policy. It has been drawn up in close consultation with the police and security services. It is deliberately focused on practical measures that we can be confident will work, and it broadly commands cross-party support. In an open and free society like ours, we can never entirely eliminate the threat from terrorism. But we must do everything possible, consistent with our values as a country, to reduce the risk presented by our enemies. The government's policy, our counter-terrorism strategy, and this legislation all aim to do just that. We are engaged in a struggle that is fought on many fronts and in many forms. It is a struggle that will go on for many years. And the threat we face right now is perhaps greater than it ever has been. And we must have the powers we need to defend ourselves.
And that's the story.
Wow, what a crock.
Yeah, so if people are allowing that to be the explanation for what is happening.
Have you ever read the Patriot Act?
Yeah, of course. but they didn't have all that cool cyber stuff in it. And this has all of that in there. And they could, especially schools have to be wide open so the authorities could, check in and see if they're not being radicalized by teachers. Yeah. It's crazy. Okay, but that's what it is. That's what it is. We just be kept crazy with that stuff, I guess.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Yeah. Let me see.
I got a miscellaneous interim clip you can throw in. This would be like an ass gaff. See if you can catch the gaff. I shouldn't even do this clip. Well, but I should anyway. The AC/DC drummer is busted.
Well,
or something.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago, yes, for trying to kill a guy, trying to hire a guy to kill a guy.
Here's a report.
Yeah.
I want you to see if you can spot the gaff, and when you do, you can stop the clip.
Okay.
AC/DC drummer Phil Rudd showed up late for a court appearance in New Zealand this morning. The 6-year-old is charged.
Right there. The 6-year-old. Whew! He got it in 6 seconds. Woo! I won.
The 6-year-old. You got the 2 words came out after. Okay.
With threatening to kill, as well as
you don't have to play it. It's just bull crap.
Yeah, that was totally unnecessary.
I just want to see if you can catch the gaff.
I've done
a new segment called Catch the Gaff. And how many words follow the gaff? Up to 10. If he gets to 10, then you lose.
Okay, good.
That would be the way the game's played.
I've been following for you while you're getting gaff clips. Following what's going on over here. The European Central Banks, the interest rate here is at 0.
It is?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just about 0, yeah.
Oh, well, good work.
Yeah, so something has to be done. Good work,
Central Bank USA. Good work. We got them.
Yeah.
Got them where we want them.
Now what? Well, our buddy, the Junker, Jean-Claude Juncker, here in the Euroland zone, he's come up with a plan, John. He's got a plan. And this is a magical plan where there will somehow be 315 billion euros will be flowing into the economy of the Euroland zone with this plan, which is a structural plan, and it is for, you'll never guess, what do you think they need in Europe? If you were going to flow 315 billion euros...
High-speed rail.
It's so dumb that you won't even guess it.
Sewage treatment plants.
It might be part of it, but they're just talking about infrastructure.
Yeah, okay. Roads.
Was the last thing that's what they did the last time. They built all these roads that no one's on.
More roads. It's all about infrastructure. And I wanted to play this bit of Jean-Claude Juncker, the Drunker. It has an EU translator's voice over his. But I kind of like that instead of me reading it, because it's kind of funny to listen to someone reading or translating on the fly. Translation, I think, is pretty good. Just listen to this plan, and then I can break down a little bit of the elements of it, because it sounds like he's going to throw 315 billion euros into the economy. And of course, the question is, where does that come from, John? Comes from the taxpayers.
Yeah, well, that would be impossible to do for a bill like that.
Well, they just ding them, make a charge, buy their own bonds. I don't know.
No, the way
I don't know what their mechanism is, but this is essentially, and I said essentially, this is the same as our earlier technique to just jerk up a dead economy by throwing money at it by buying our own bonds.
Well, here's what's cool about it. This is going to be a public-private partnership. So this is an invitation for the private sector to invest along with the European governments and collective government in Brussels to collectively raise 21 billion euros. And the way they think this is going to happen is they 5 billion will come from private enterprise and 16 billion will come from the individual Euro states. And then that will be a 1 to 15 leverage through the banks to borrow up to 315 billion euros, which is exactly that's their plan, right? I said right. That's their plan to have the banks facilitate this, and that at 1 to 15 multiplier. I don't think that's unheard of. This.
I don't know what they're up to. I don't know how unheard of that is.
It's quite.
It sounds like there's something scamish about it.
Let's listen to Junker here.
Structural reforms need to continue being introduced, but we need a third pillar, a third lung, if you like, and that is investment. So we have set up this investment plan, and we've been looking at investments over the past, and to tell you the truth, at the end of the dramatic phase of financial difficulties, we expected recovery to come faster, but recovery did not come faster.
All right, so here's the admission that all their plans, the recovery just didn't happen. It didn't come. It's not here. We failed, and now
That's because they screwed up completely. We did it the right way with the quantitative easing, which was just inject a bunch of random money into the system and let it kind of get through its problem.
Let the rich guys just. Now they're just putting it back in the economy by spreading it around to us plebs here and there.
So we need to get public and private
maybe.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Investment to make sure that the economy can be kick-started again. And another thing that might be underestimated.
Now listen to this.
But Mr. Katainen, I'm sure, will be able to give us further details on this. This is a project pipeline that is going to be set up. Investors might not just need funding, but we'd also like to know how the projects can be set up so that they are attractive to investors.
Isn't this the dream, John? This is the dream. All these guys get to bring their buddies in now. This is about pipeline, which is just long term. They get insight into everything. It's going to be disaster.
American-style scams.
And that they will have an effect on the regions where these projects will be carried out. So it is also important to have this type of support. And what is also important is to make sure that the projects on which we shall be agreeing won't be sandcastles. They will really promote the potential. It's not just short-term programs, structural programs. No, we're looking at long-term strengthening of the economy.
This is where you and I should be in our suits, selling proposals.
Yeah.
Selling research for proposals.
Yeah, there's a lot of scams going on here. The third lung, I like that one.
Isn't that nice?
Kickstart. Let's kickstart the economy. Where's this kickstart mechanism?
Yeah.
Kickstart.
If you throw methane right onto the top of the cylinder, maybe. You remember you put in the red book. You put in the red book these European politicians would soon be pinning medals on each other.
Yeah.
So Heiko Herman Van Rompuy, the president of the council. He's out. So this is his last week. He's doing his farewell, his goodbyes, his swan songs. He's doing little appearances.
Swan poems.
Swan poems. His haikus. He's doing little appearances here and there. And in his colleagues, and here it's close. His colleagues actually gave him, and it's now in European Parliament, in the building, a bust of him. A bust, I tell you. Yeah, it's like, and he will be forever remembered as the enshrined in the European Union in the archives of history.
I wonder where that bus is going to end up when they burn the place down.
Well, it won't burn.
The bus won't burn. Somebody's going to take it, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to take that bus and they're going to pound it with a hammer until it breaks, or they're going to put it somewhere, or be in a museum somewhere. It'd be kind of interesting to see where that bust ends up.
Really? Okay, I guess.
Yeah. No, this is way out there. This is
just crazy. These guys,
yeah,
and really, when you see the difference, I sat here and I watched some Dutch. It's kind of like Dutch C-SPAN. And they had, it was very interesting, Fred Theeuwen, he's the secretary of, so not the minister of defense, but the secretary of defense, and the minister of defense is another incredible guy. Like, these are the largest elitists. But this guy was actually a major player in the Pim Fortuyn Leefbaar Nederland party. And then, Fortuyn was assassinated before, and then his party still won posthumously. And he kind of slipped in, and now he's he's the number 2 guy of all military. And wow, I'm just saying that this guy, I'm impressed, and he's doing deals, man. This guy he's doing deals. And I'm just looking at this, and the way these people speak to each other, and it's very noticeable in Dutch, with the Dutch language. You have what we call really a high Dutch, which is very hot potato-ish, kind of like Royal British in a way, like the Queen's English.
Yeah.
And that's all they speak to each other. And you can just see these people, they don't care one shit about anybody in this country. They're in their own little world, just like our Congress. Or like the European, they just want news reports for them. Oh, this is happening. Let's do this legislation. They don't care. It's such a disconnect. It's very obvious here.
Huh.
I don't know if that's just because I'm away from home and I'm looking at it with a fresh eye. But,
probably has something to do with it.
Yeah, well, that's good then, I guess. I'm just surprised.
Fresh eyes are good.
Yeah, fresh eyes. Yeah.
Fresh eyes.
So why don't we do this right now, if you don't mind?
I'm going to show my support by donating to No Agenda. Imagine all the people who could do that. Oh yeah, that'd be fab. Yeah, on No Agenda. In the morning.
Well, we have an interesting situation with Harry Pilgrim, who, unless you see a donation down there for something, there's no money associated with his claim of knighthood.
Harry's been a monthly donor for years.
Yeah, I'm sure he's a knight.
Yeah. What's the question?
Well, I mean, he usually doesn't end up in, the question is what's associative? What's associated with his note, which was sent by email? Sounds like a donation note.
Oh, but I know
because he's requesting karma and all these different things, which is unusual for somebody to send you email and just asking for something, whatever. Right. A little girl, yay. I mean, just asking her email. Oh, okay, yay. I don't know what to do about it.
Well,
so it's a big mystery.
Let me help you out.
Okay.
I would presume that Harry, looking at the email, because now I've had to get involved because the back office is confused, and you're a part of that.
I think I mailed the back office this email, assuming that it was attached to something.
No, it's not. Yeah, it's attached to his 1212, and what he did is he said, "Hey, wait a minute, let me go check," and all his previous 1212s, which he made his new 1212 may not have come in. He tallies up 999, wanted me to toss in the penny for his knighthood.
Where does it say that in here?
It was the email I had.
Oh, well, I didn't get that one. Okay, well, that makes more sense than what I got here.
Yeah, and I thought so because you replied to him, and I was like, dude, you're a miss on this.
I guess. I mean, but I'm looking at a different document.
Yeah.
All right, that's fine.
He's good to go. He picked us up at the airport. He was our handler when we went on the first Hot Pockets tour.
Okay.
Oh.
No, it's fine. I know.
See, there you go.
All this background, but I'm reading this thing. It doesn't make any sense to me. I'm going, I'm not getting this.
You're going into
now that you have a different note, I'm fine with it. I don't have a problem. I just wanted it resolved.
It's resolved.
Okay, good. Now you take care of it.
Now you have to read his note. He has a whole note.
Okay, well, you got the note. You want to read the note now?
No.
Oh, by the way, do you have your pen out?
Well, there's too many things at once. Yes, I have my pen out. What do you need?
Jesse Christensen, who's married to JC, his birthday today.
Oh. Christensen.
Yeah, she never listens to the show, so it's not.
And how old is she?
Pronounce it. I think 60.
Okay.
No, she's not Jr. 60. She's like 25. I don't know how old she is.
Like 25, and that's today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's thank a few people for show 673, including David Hoffman in Enola, Pennsylvania, $172.10, and Randall Myers in Manassas, Virginia. Haven't donated for a while. He felt like donating. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And Li Jiang in Aberdeen City, UK. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then,
I'm sorry, I'm doing all kinds of other things. Am I you waiting for something from me already?
Yeah.
What?
Line 20, my friend.
Just tell me what you need. I'm in a crisis.
Stephen Pelsmacher's
I'm sorry. I mean, it's a crisis here. I'm trying to do all these things. I can't find the Pelsmachers. Nothing. This is crazy.
Well, then don't do all these things at once.
And in the red corner,
right,
wearing the black trunks with gold trim.
Easy for you to say.
He has a record of 33 wins, 0 losses, and 1 draw. He's the Grand Duke of Belgium and France, Sir Stephen von Pelsmacher.
I'm sorry. So I got a lot of stuff to do here on one screen.
Okay, yeah, I know your problem is one screen. I got 227 inchers.
Yeah, that's what I don't have when I'm on. That's the only thing I don't have when I'm on.
Yeah, no, it's a big problem. I don't like working with one screen.
No, me neither.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from Belgium. He's the Grand Duke of Belgium and France. Happy Thanksgiving, gentlemen. Thanks for being who you are and what you do. All the best to all the ladies that support you too. Karma for you all. And as a Grand Duke, you have to give him you have to obey the karma. Of course.
You've got karma.
Sir Arthur Gobetz, hugger of kitties in Zaandam.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And only because Adam's in town, only because I'm down. He's got the flu. He's bleeding from the orifices. Oh, no, he's not bleeding from the orifices.
What?
Anyway, he just says, Sir Hugger of Kitty, can I please get some karma? And my cousin will put that at the end for the heart attack. You know, I know why he wants his cousin to get a heart attack, but there you have it. No, I see. He's had a heart attack. That's the problem.
No.
Kulia Carrier or Kuba. What is this?
Kuba Kerner.
Kuba. Man, I was off on that one. Kuba Kerner. 1, 2, 3. Another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's interesting.
Now, Kuba. Go ahead.
It's a birthday coming up, and they mentioned
this is Kuba's first donation.
Yeah. Hit in the mouth a couple months back by his sister Myra and her boyfriend Zach, whose birthday is on Thursday. So we're going to put that on.
It's Mia.
Did what I say?
Mia.
Got hooked. Always had my doubts in the media and their shenanigans, but after listening to your show once, this is a rare thing.
Yeah, that doesn't happen.
Most people listen to it. I didn't like the show.
Which show was it? I want to know which show it was that you heard. Which episode? That would be good to know.
It might be an important show to just use occasionally to tell people, well, go listen to the show, whatever. And he says, the fog was lifted from my eyes. Now I'm no more paranoid than ever. You should be less paranoid if we're doing our job correctly. George Tangen in Inver Grove Heights, Minnesota nuts. 1, 2, 3. Josh Mandel in Greenville, South Carolina. 11211. Robert Smiley in Holland, Pennsylvania. 11128. Sean McCorkle in Arlington, Virginia. 11000. And then $100 from Brandon Stewart in Dallas, Texas. Anonymous, $100 in Wayne, Pennsylvania. $99 from Jonathan King and 99 cents in Gahanna, Ohio. Interesting name for a town. Sir JD down in San Jose, 8686. Kevin Nunez in East Brunswick, New Jersey, 7770. Nicholas Ragucci in Hanover Park, Illinois, 75. Following people, 6969 from Robert Goshko in Alberta, Canada. Vladimir Stashkov in Kemerovo,
Russia.
In Russia. Huh.
And how much do you hate us or think we're douchebags when we do like that Russian accent in Russia? They probably
in Russia.
Just like douchebag.
No.
I was like, yeah.
What do you say? I'm from Russia.
When you say I'm from Australia, mate, they hate that there.
That's pretty douchey.
I'm from Russia, comrade.
I'm from Russia.
I'm sure they're sick of that shit.
No, they're not.
Yeah, just like we always say, Yankee, American Yankee, go home.
Yankee, go home.
Hey, Adam, where's Eve?
Well, my
whole life.
That's
my whole life.
Bill in Ada, Oklahoma, 69.69. Lucas Zua in Munich, Deutschland, 67.89. Sir James Cates in Virginia Beach, Virginia, 67.33. Sir Herb Lamb in Sugar Hill, Georgia, 67.30. Brian Leslie in Bremerton, Washington,
5678.
Just right up the street from that.
Love that.
5678. And then Jonathan Barretz. What do you think?
Perez.
In Amesbury, Massachusetts. Also 56. What does 5678 refer to?
5678.
Oh.
It's another favorite number. So you say, that's my third favorite number.
Justin and Michelle Gearing in Manhattan, Kansas, 5555. Kevin Dills in Charlotte, North Carolina, double nickels on the dime, along with Sir Max Roberts. Crown Point, Indiana, double nickels on the dime, a long-forgotten donation. Jeremiah Treble, Longview, Texas, 5253. We have BioLife Donor, Oak Grove, Missouri, 5150. John Haller in Missoula, Montana, $51. He says, John's story of motorcycling in the cold weather and being able to pick up the gorgeous hitchhiker had me hysterically laughing out loud while I was stuck in I-80 traffic in Berkeley. Great.
It was a good story.
Mumble, mumble, mumble. Somebody else said they spit up their coffee through their nose.
Yeah.
Because I caught him.
All over his keyboard, I think. He says you owe him a new keyboard.
No, he owes himself. He should be happy. Notice he won't catch a flu this year. Coffee through the nostrils is the way to go.
Is that true? Wait a minute.
Yeah,
Wait, hold on a second.
In fact, you can hear on those other podcasts they talk about it. Sir, and these are $50 donations. Sir Hank in Kew Gardens, New York. Sam, Sarah, what do you think? Sariaho. Sami. It's a Finnish name. Sariaho in Finland.
Are you there yet? Did you hear that? No, with the name. I heard that Finland's internet cable has been rerouted via Sweden because of some fiber cut.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which I'm pretty sure is preparation for the big Russia summit. But it's like, hey, let's take measures right now, and let's just, Sweden are our guys. Let's get Snowden, or not Snowden, but Assange through Sweden. Yeah, there are stooges. Oh yeah, hey, one word, rock set. Okay, so we know what Sweden's up to. And it seems like it's preparatory. There's going to be stuff. We know that there's going to be stuff going down in Finland, in Helsinki, with Russian, big delegation, big meeting, big thing. With the North Koreans.
A little annoyed by this if it happened.
Well, they're doing it now. It's
you're right. It's in advance. Why do it? You don't do it the day before.
No, you get it set up now.
Becomes too obvious. This is what the Caltech people used to do when they used to create these gags on certain football teams because they don't have no football team. So they would go into the Rose Bowl. And so when they went to the halftime, the score would change to Caltech 40, USC 10.
Right.
But they would do the preparation for this gag like a year in advance.
Oh, yeah. It takes a long time to do this right. Exactly.
Because you could set it up and then you could put it looks like it was been there forever. So you can't find the connection. Yeah, that's what you do. So it's probably some Caltech guys doing this.
Well, who knows who's doing it? But we know what it's being done for.
Yeah, I'm just joking. Bradley Shellnut in Walnut, get it? Mountain View, California, 50. Andrew Gardner, Leonardtown, Maryland.
Sir Andrew to you.
Sir, oh, yes, that's right. Sir Andrew Gardner. Ross Turpin in Troy, Kansas, 50. Gerald Inhabitant. Yeah, I think we go through this every time he shows up.
Yeah.
In Union, South Carolina. Peter Totes, parts unknown, 50. Michael Towen in Hayden, Idaho. Shad Rich and Abednego in Seattle, Washington. I should not be making fun of his name. $50. Shad Rich is his name. And Abednego. Taylor Bentley, Tacoma, Washington. 50. Holy Mackerel Software in Derbyshire. UK. And that concludes our donors who came up big here on show 673. And we want to thank them all, but reminding people that we do have another show on Sunday that I believe will have no listeners because everyone's going to be lounging around. And there's football. There's always football on Sunday.
Two things. One, Taylor Bentley's donation. She says, my dad likes to clip the part where John says my name during the donation segment and use it as his ringtone for me.
Well, let me just do it with silence on either end.
Yeah, so it's Taylor Bentley, and this is so. I'm going to give you the motivation here. She's calling her dad, and then he wants your ringtone to ring on his phone when his daughter calls him.
Taylor Bentley. How's that? You think that'd be good?
That'd be good. You want to just do an alternate
safety?
For safety.
Safety.
I hated that. I hated it so much. That was great segment. Let's do one more for safety. I want to beat you in the face.
Taylor Bentley. Taylor Bentley. Taylor Bentley. Now, there's got to be one in there.
Those are great. Those are really good. That, by the way, that's a commercial service.
Yeah.
Well,
$50 donors possible.
Yeah.
All right.
Good work.
That one again. Thank everybody. Go to Dvorak.org/NA and keep it up. Keep up the good work.
And also Chip Tangen, who we thanked earlier with his 123. That was his very first ever donation. So he wanted de-douching, so I thought I'd give him that.
You've been de-douched.
That's right. Show coming up Sunday. I'm a little more optimistic. I think there'll be people. I mean, it's already low today, I know, but I think people will show up. And it is a podcast.
Anybody in the chat room? Is there anybody in the chat room?
Yeah, we got like 500-600 people on the stream, which is low, but it's not completely bunk. And it's not, it's Thanksgiving only in America, John. And let's be honest, our audience is global. It's not just America.
Yeah, no, that's fine. You're right. There'll be plenty of Europeans and Australians.
Yeah.
And we get no Singaporeans listening to this show.
Hold on a second.
Dvorak.org/NA.
Hold that thought. And today, 2 birthdays. Kuba Kerner says happy birthday to his sister's boyfriend, Zach. That's right. Zach celebrating today. And Jesse Christensen, Buzzkill Jr.'s wife, turns like 25. Happy birthday from all your buddies here. The best podcast in the universe. She didn't listen.
No, I know. I don't care.
She didn't listen.
No, it's too much. Too much.
Now, Harry Pilgrim, I thought he had some kind of title for taking such good care of us in Virginia when we went. Remember?
Yeah,
it was,
okay.
Yeah.
You met him.
But anyway, let me read his note. Just like the night before Christmas, reading of old, I'm looking forward to the annual deconstruction of today's bogative holiday, which we did. Yep. I do, however, have a reason to celebrate because my 3-year monthly contribution plan towards knighthood pays off today. Accounting attached.
Okay, that's what I didn't read anything, apparently. I just was befuddled by whatever.
I'm reading the spreadsheet. This is right on the spreadsheet that you have.
Yeah, no, I'm reading the same thing. I apparently am an idiot.
No, you're not an idiot.
I think so. But when
it was just one of those moments where, the bottles go by in the conveyor belt the whole time. And then suddenly, like the old man picks one and goes, this is a good bottle. Let's check this. Drill.
What?
Yeah, that's kind of how it felt. Don't take
drill?
Yeah, like a sergeant drilling his team. Is this a true fact? Can he have a knighthood? I'm telling you, this is how it came across. Yeah, you may not realize that.
Okay, well, I realize it now since you're berating me.
I'm not berating you. I'm telling you lovingly.
I'd like to be known as Sir Pilgrim, although the round table is well stocked with libations. I realized that after the apocalypse, we may not be able to replace all of the Scotch, bourbon, Chardonnay, and other fine, potent potables. Therefore, my request for the round table menu includes the key ingredients to produce handcrafted lagers and ales.
Oh.
Please stock the table with a selection of malted barley and hops, and I will provide the peerage with an endless supply of fine beers. So in other words, if we send him stuff, he'll make beer for us.
Yes. And we have to have it on the table of the knights and the dames. That's the other part.
Well, that would be fine. Can he do a good ale?
I think he's a knight.
Have you tried his beers when you were back there?
I think I have, yeah. I think so. I remember his leg was all messed up. And was,
He does have a point to make. I'd like to call out the producers. Hey, citizens, how about some value for value support through the holiday season? The best podcast in the universe is your program, and if you don't produce it, John and Adam may have to start selling seeds and iodine.
Woo! I'm looking forward to that.
That'll never happen.
No, it will never happen. You're absolutely right. All right. Grab your blade, man. Let me get this good man into the where he belongs. His rightful space, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, Harry Pilgrim, step up, man. Been waiting for you. Long time coming. We hereby pronounce thee Sir Pilgrim, Knight of the No Agenda Roundtable for you, sir. As requested, we not only have the hookers and blow, we also have malted barley and hops, Don Eckes and Dutch dominatrix, puppies and port, porn stars and pot, Cuban cigars and single malt scotch, cannabis and cabernet, wenches and beer, geishas and sake, sparkling cider and escorts, and of course, our favorite, mutton and mead. And Harry, hop on over to noagendanation.com/rings. And when you get the ring, the certificate and everything, and take a picture of it, tweet it, and put John,
retweet.
Put Adam Curry and then the real Dvorak on it. So yeah, it's nice. I've been retweeting a couple of those. I've seen a number.
Yeah, it's cross by.
I think we just need to
I don't know why I don't know what my problem was with this, why I couldn't read this correctly.
What?
Like you said, I was like some guy who was confused. Maybe those rays.
What rays?
The ones that make it babble and make no sense. Documented this.
It was seriously, it was one of the weirdest things. And I was taken aback. I'm like, oh man, what are you doing?
I don't know.
This is Harry. It's fucking Harry, man.
It's rays.
When have you been exposed to said rays?
It was up here. It's at the Pacific Northwest. They got ray machines.
Speaking of this, there's a new psychiatric diagnosis we have, and the Journal of Abnormal Child Psychology, in their January issue, are devoting 136 pages to describe this illness, which I think you may have had as a child and it went untreated.
Yes.
It's exactly right. It is known as SCT, or sluggish cognitive tempo disorder.
Huh.
And this and what this is daydreaming.
What?
Exactly. It's a new frontier on ADHD.
So daydreaming is now a mental disorder. Give me a break.
Yes. Yep. So they call this the other side of ADHD. And of course, this is all now. This will be entered into the next DSM, Diagnostic Statistical Manual. And here it is. Sluggish cognitive tempo is a remarkably silly name for an even sillier proposal, says Psychology Today. Yet SCT seems to have gotten, it's gotten hold of something, and they do believe that they're going to have a drug for this disorder.
Yeah.
So they're calling this.
What do you need a drug for?
To wake you up a bit if you're daydreaming.
A cup of coffee.
Red Bull.
It's already available.
Yeah.
Wow.
I just think it's here. One leading proponent of SCT is Dr. Russell Barkley, who The Guardian reports calls the condition, quote, the second attention disorder. Between a third and half of all those diagnosed with the inattentive subtype of ADHD are in fact suffering from SCT.
Yeah, more Adderall.
Sluggish cognitive tempo. I think it is a boost for Adderall.
Yeah, I'll find this investment grade Adderall.
It's really just an expansion So you have the kids who are ADHD, and then the Adderall, which is amphetamine.
Amphetamines.
It makes them very focused. They're highly productive
and talkative,
and it prepares them for cocaine later in life.
Yeah, where they can be even more talkative.
Yeah, and annoying.
By the way, The Wolf of Wall Street is well worth watching.
I found it 45 minutes too long.
Ah, well, there's that.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
When it comes to the new movie, Birdman, starring Michael Keaton and Peter and Norton, can't remember his first name ever.
Ed?
Great film. Great film.
Huh.
You'll have a screener, so you can just watch it then.
I don't know if we get a screener.
It's nominated, or it's not nominated yet, but it will be.
Speaking of which, so I was talking to Mickey, 2 days ago, and she'd been home.
You didn't talk to her since?
Yeah, I talked to her just before the show. I talked to her.
Yeah, you're right.
She said, "Do you have a quick minute to FaceTime before the show?" Good.
She said she used the term FaceTime.
Yeah, she won. Yeah, FaceTime.
Huh.
Yeah, that the
all hands meeting.
All hands stand up meeting. The FaceTime app is what she's referring to. FaceTime.
Oh, I see, because she's in L.A.
Yes, exactly. With my handlers, and she just
again. Okay, go on.
Go ahead, say it.
She's back from L.A.
No, she's in L.A. now. She's Thanksgiving in L.A. because I'm here.
Let me back this up.
How hard can this be? And what do you care?
Well, here's the problem. She was in L.A. for the last show.
No, she was in Houston. She drove back from Houston.
I'm just trying to figure out when the toilet's clogged up. Let's just make the timeline.
The toilet clogged up Tuesday. And
she's
left
in L.A.
No, she left for L.A. Wednesday morning.
So you clogged the toilet before you left, and she got stuck with it.
Really, stop! Don't do this.
Okay, let's just drop it.
Yes. So I don't even know what we're talking about this anymore.
She wanted some FaceTime, so you said okay, and now you're talking to her.
I don't know why. I don't know what that was about anymore.
It must have not been important.
Yeah, it was. Oh, I got it.
Okay.
Okay. So I was going to say though that I'd spoken to her a couple days ago, and she had watched the State of Affairs at Katherine Heigl series, and of course she looks like Katherine Heigl, although Mickey is obviously much hotter, younger looking, and certainly just more of a woman.
She looks exactly like her. She looks just like. I mean, you could get reservations at a restaurant claiming to be Katherine Heigl and get away with it.
That's not how it works. I go in. Listen, I've got Katherine Heigl with me. VIP. We need the best table you can get. If you have to kick people out, you drag them by their fucking hair. Katherine Heigl's here with me. That's how it works.
Okay.
Yeah, and it works. Yeah, it works every single time.
Yeah.
And she said, "Wow, if people aren't already hypnotized by the fake news, this is just like a gloss. Just throw everything in there. North Korea, nuclear, Russia, crazy.
I saw,
everything."
Yeah.
And she said, it's so boring.
So it's the show's a turkey.
Yeah. But you got to play this bit. One of our producers clipped this.
This is NBC. I believe this is NBC.
No, isn't it CBS?
No, I don't think so. I think it's a replacement for The Blacklist.
Oh, okay. Could be.
Which was turning turkey, but they ended the season before it could go all the way to pure turkey.
So in this case, what has happened?
What's the name of it again? I'm going to look it up.
State of Affairs.
Yeah, okay.
And so I've not seen this show. I have no idea, but I do understand the plot in this particular premise is Russia has cut the cables, is tapping off the internet cables, and this is very appropriate, actually, we think about Finland and Sweden.
NBC.
Yeah, NBC. Where Russia is tapped into the undersea cables of wherever this summit is going to be. And wherever Katherine Heigl is, they see the danger of this. Of course, the danger of this happening. While we're doing the exact same thing right now in Finland via Sweden. And here's what happens if Russia finds out we know.
If Russia finds out who our assets are...
They'll kill every one of them.
And their families and extended families.
And then they'll shop the rest of that intel to Iran, to North Korea.
That's exactly what they'll do. Shoot everybody and then sell the intel to North Korea and Iran, our arch enemies.
Well, you might as well play my North Korea clip and see how that works its way into this thesis.
Thousands of North Koreans rallied today against UN criticism of their country's human rights record. The demonstrators filled a square in Pyongyang, the capital, backing their communist leaders and denouncing the U.S. The rally was organized by the government. A UN commission has found North Korea's abuse of human rights, quote, exceeds all others in duration, intensity, and horror. The issue could go to the International Criminal Court.
Horror. What is that a category?
Horror. Yeah, well, this is exactly what the release of Bay and the spook wannabe kid Miller was all about. Was trying to show, hey, we don't try and take Kim Jong-un to the International Criminal Court. Don't go that route. And they don't care.
No, they got their minds made up because they got to sell armaments to South Korea.
Yep. Confirmed.
It's just going to continue.
Confirmed. It's just confirmed.
Yeah. Nobody wants to talk about that. But so instead of talking about any of that stuff, you put the stupid show on NBC, the stooges for the U.S. government, and they make this crap that replaces another show that is very slowly deteriorating.
Yeah.
I got here's one for you, Adam. I got an Afghanistan update. It requires a question.
Okay. There's a lot of questions for me today.
The number of U.S. troops who remain deployed in Afghanistan past year's end may increase. 9,800 are already scheduled to stay, and Reuters reported today another 1,000 may join them. A Pentagon spokesman did not rule out that possibility. President Obama has recently expanded the future mission beyond training Afghan forces to include fighting the Taliban.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Wait a minute.
Weren't they always fighting the Taliban? Or something? Did I miss something in the translation?
I don't know.
They've added, they say,
Shut up,
fighting the Taliban.
We don't know.
Who were they fighting if they weren't fighting the Taliban?
I don't know. They're just shooting stuff off, man. We got excess. We need to place new orders.
I thought this was the screwiest clip I've got.
Yeah, it is. Yes.
All of a sudden, they're adding another 1,000 people. They're supposed to be getting out of there, but no. They're fighting the Taliban. What, for the various drug, deals that are going down? What's it?
By the way, if you're coming to Amsterdam, do not buy cocaine. There's a bad batch. It is known white heroin is apparently what it is. And already 2 English tourists have OD'd and are dead.
Huh.
There's signs everywhere. There's dangerous cocaine.
Signs everywhere. How did these guys die?
Well, this is after they.
After they
yeah.
died. Okay.
So now there's big neon everywhere. It says bad cocaine. Don't buy it. Is this a great country or what?
Bad cocaine.
Don't eat the brown ass.
You can get cocaine in Holland at all.
No. I think it's pretty big though in Amsterdam.
Really?
I think it's pretty big in general. Certainly for the Brits. I know the Brits are crazy about it.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. They're
I just don't like the idea of a coked up Brit.
They like because they like drinking. It kind of goes hand in hand.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, they can drink more.
Yeah, exactly.
Good report on the holidays.
Oh,
I think we should all listen to this one very carefully. This is the clip "Family Fights."
I'm sorry. Okay. Alrighty.
Bad news? An argument or two probably will break out at the dinner table, maybe a debate. But here's the good news. That could actually be good for your kids to see. Get this. I don't know what to think about this. So a new study says that children who witness heated debates are better off later in life. Apparently, according to this research, it makes them better communicators and teaches them how to handle conflict. Now, I don't know what to say about this because it's sort of like, if you get used to a lot of strife and tension, you'll really know how to deal with it later in life.
Are we talking about parents fighting, or are we talking about discussions about topics that get a little bit heated at a dinner table?
Yeah, I think that's a...
What is he talking about?
Discussion of topics that get heated at the dinner table. Well, I'm not absolutely sure that Kim Jong-un is who he says he is. Well, I disagree with you, and I'm going to get heated about it. No, it's about... Who is that slut you were with last night? You know what this argument's about, what they're talking about, but these idiots...
How come you didn't return your text when I sent you one?
Yeah, these idiots doing the show, this is their analysis.
I saw your
current events in a heated manner?
I saw the blue dot on your WhatsApp. I know you read my WhatsApp. Would you with that hussy again? And this is my typical Southern woman, which is really misogynistic right now.
Okay,
that's pretty good though, right?
That was your Southern woman,
kind of, a little bit.
Yeah. It was maybe misogynistic. I don't think it was that bad. A and B, it was very un-Southern. It was not enough drawl. You got to slow it down a little bit.
Let's do more.
And what the difference is. I mean, I got the impression it was more about debates and talking and
no Kardashians, Real Housewives of the OC of New Jersey and New York. And what's the Below Deck? Below Deck.
I think it's called Below Deck. Any of that crap.
Yeah, it's about the staff on a huge yacht. It's actually kind of funny.
Oh, that actually sounds like a good idea.
And then they have the Hollywood Persians. What is it? The Persian royalty of Hollywood or something.
Man, you watch a lot of this stuff.
And then you have this is all Bravo, and I see it. Mickey will have her one night, and I'll join in, and we'll sit, and I'm just blown away by this crap. All the real estate shows, like the two gay guys. Wait a minute, it's a million. All the real estate shows. Here's a real estate show. Get a real estate office, put two gay guys in, show.
Well, that would go over big in Canada. I've been watching Canadian TV, and I don't want to sound like some sort of a gay basher, but holy crap, this one channel up here, CHEK, which comes off of the Vancouver Island.
Yeah.
Mimi and I were both drop-jawed about this. It's like the whole station is all gay. Oh. Just put up with it. And I'm thinking it's in the food or something.
Just put up. It's in the food. Yes, John. You can cure them. Yes, John.
Okay, let's
just by changing their diet, I'm sure you can cure them, John. Yes. Have you met Michelle
I'll get
Bachmann?
off the topic as fast as I can. It's your fault now.
Well, let me help you. Can I help you?
To know that we're in a Great Depression, there's a lot of anomalies that always take place economically. So now I have a clip about this auction. This is very interesting to listen to. Just these two items went up for sale on an auction. Play.
Hollywood's best-known pieces of memorabilia have new owners. The Cowardly Lion costume worn in The Wizard of Oz in 1939 sold at auction last night for nearly $3.1 million. Whoa. And the upright piano from Rick's Café Americain in Casablanca fetched $3.4 million. They went on the block at Bonham's Auction House in New York.
Wow.
That seems a little high.
Well,
some old costume from a movie in the 30s is getting $3 million just so you can display it as art.
Here's what I talked to Lex. Lex, my first boss. He was at this photo shoot. And, Lex is a collector. We know what he's a collector of. He has a very, very significant collection of Warhols and Liechtensteins.
Okay, those are good.
Yeah, but, really significant.
Yeah, well, there's probably $100 million worth of art minimally. It sounds like to me.
And so there's this big art fair, the PAN, P-A-N, and Mickey's has two pieces at it. But there's a lot of Warhols, and he went to go look, and he had been there before I saw him, and he said, it's just too expensive right now. I said, well, what's happening? He says, well, funny enough, the supply has increased because people need money, and right now at this very moment, there's just so much really desirable stuff. It's not just supply and demand yet. The stuff that is now available is just people are like, oh, I need to get this. So the prices are very much inflated at the moment. So I believe that's probably a part of all of this, including memorabilia like this.
Good time to sell.
Yeah, no, this is the time to sell. That's exactly what you want to do. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Well, he should be dumping his collection.
No, he's not he's not a trader. He's a collector. He likes it. He's not buying to sell. In fact, if I lived here, a lot of his friends or closer friends, they have his art. Why don't you hold on to this Warhol for a while, and then then he'll change it out, and you'll get something else.
I would warn him that these people should have insurance.
Oh yeah, no, it's all taken care of. Yeah, but he wants the art to be seen. That's kind of good.
No, that's what you're supposed to do. That's why you do it.
Yeah,
yeah.
New Jersey, my old stomping grounds. Let me roll this out on you. As we continually are on the lookout for different ways in which our free speech is being monitored and shut down, I think legislation like this is going to be part of a problem.
New Jersey Assemblyman Troy Singleton has heard the stories from around the state. Women and even men lured into relationships with people who aren't who they say they are.
You probably would not consent to someone who purported to be a million different things other than they are.
That's why Singleton has just introduced a bill that would make lying to get someone to have sex equal to rape.
We think that it is important.
How about that?
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay, clip of the day right there.
Listen to the whole thing.
Stop the presses.
Listen to the whole thing, and you'll just get madder and madder as I take that honor.
For folks to be protected.
But under the bill, it would have to be more than just a little white lie to land you in jail. The lies would have to be continuous and rise to a high level of deceit.
Now, here's the best part.
No one would ever get laid.
Here's the best part.
Who are these people? They're just a bunch of virgins? They don't get it?
No. Here it's being introduced by a woman whose husband
who stands there holding children. She's holding her collar top of her things with her hand constantly. She talks.
Her husband turned out to not be who he said he was, and so then this law had to come into place because she is the woman scorned. This is
big deal.
This is the extent women go to.
When you are told lies of identity, you're basically having a sexual relationship with a person that's a total stranger to.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that never happens.
Joyce Short supports this bill after she says she was deceived for years by her now ex-husband.
Aha! Now the monkey comes out of the sleeve and we find out why she is so vigilant about this law.
He lied about his marital status. He lied about his education. He told me that he had a bachelor's in accounting from NYU. And in fact, he was a high school dropout.
I shall make a law. I shall support it and arrest you.
Now, because he said he was he got a degree from NYU, but was a college or a high school dropout, he's a rapist.
At least 5 states already make it a crime to have sex by fraud.
Sex by fraud. There it is. Sex by fraud.
Sometimes, though, it's a lesser offense than rape. But some say it should be a matter of personal responsibility, not a case for the prosecutor.
Yeah. Do their due diligence and check the guy out or check the woman out. You know, it's like if he or she is not what they say they are, then move on.
This is the man on the street they had to throw into the package. Some bro. He's like, hey, they got to do their diligence. You know, you like check out the Facebook page. You know, you like Google around a bit. You check out the Instagram. Whoa, man, you see it on the Instagram. You know, you see what you got. You know, but you never heard of LinkedIn? Were you stupid?
If this bill becomes law, major cases of lying and deception for sex could result in 10 to 20 years in prison.
10 to 20 years, John.
It's unbelievable.
For saying I'm a movie director.
What kind of idiots are running these legislatures that would even consider something like this?
Well, you heard it.
Yeah, I did. He hit the clip of the day jingle.
Thank you. I deserve that. Clip of the day.
You know, saying you deserve it is not necessarily a good thing.
You have to understand, it is so strange to do the show on this side with. I get up 7:30, but I prep. I don't prep. I use this day for prep. Of course, I have all the stuff that is ongoing naturally, and then it goes all the way through, and then it kind of rolls into 6 o'clock. And, I've bopped outside to get a quick bite to eat, but it's very strange. The whole day is off-putting, if you will.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm just it's different.
Yeah. I'm sure it is. I mean, when I'm someplace else, it's always different.
Yeah.
Well, we did it an hour earlier last show.
Yeah, and I was going to say
that I was doing you a favor.
Yeah, and in hindsight, I have to admit, I wish we'd gone an hour earlier today as well.
Well, I called a little earlier and you weren't ready.
No, I know. When did you call? Did you text me about that? I didn't see anything.
No, I said I called you on Skype.
Oh,
before the show started, you weren't ready.
No, I wouldn't have had it on.
Oh, okay. You know, we could have almost done it early today. I just talked myself out of it.
That's okay. Just a couple more things I wanted to throw out there as we'll probably move some of this into Sunday's show. Getting so many cool stories about the transportation of oil via rail, which is kind of our recent, I say re-revelation really. But indeed, Bill Gates is the largest shareholder of the Canadian rail. And so he and Buffett pretty much have a lock on all this, and that that really solidifies so much the understanding of what that Key XL pipeline is about. It's about these guys staying in business. But now it's everywhere. You start finding stories about these trains coming through, and because there have been in this year, I think 40 different
mishaps.
With fire and people, stuff exploding.
They have to promote. The guys for the pipeline should have been promoting that more. They were wimpy about their promotion.
Yeah, well, they're probably eating.
This reminds me. I'm reminded of the marijuana initiative in California. That the marijuana folks think, it was no problem. We're going to win. They lost in California, and then Washington, and now there's 2 or 3 other states. There's like 4 states. California's way behind on the curve.
Yeah,
they're on the wrong side of history.
Exactly.
But I think I was actually annoyed to an extreme when the obviosity, I like that word, of the rail versus pipeline argument came forth from a Canadian.
Yeah.
And being from a Canadian was even more. It's like, oh my God, these guys know what's going on.
Yeah.
And now it's just so obvious. The whole thing's it's a scam.
Did you hear we got it?
What, the Buffett?
Yeah, that was requested.
Yeah, hit it again.
Hold on. It isn't quite set up to do they hit it again yet.
Buffett! Yeah, that sounds right. The guy's good.
The guy's dynamite.
He should be getting work just to do that sort of thing.
Yeah, no, I think he's setting something up. Yeah.
Yeah, he does the best scream. It's not that easy to sound like you're screaming.
No, and he has the good. The ambiance of the room is good.
Yeah, no, it's a great product.
What do you have anything on Russia? So we have. Oh yes, they brought Anna Chapman back for this.
Anna Chapman, the hot Russian.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. In a. This is from what is this from? The New York Daily News. But they got a picture of her, and she's. In a bid to pretty up the not-so-pretty image of the Russian army, Putin sent sexpot spy Anna Chapman on maneuvers with a tank unit that has been accused of aiding Moscow-backed rebels in Ukraine. Please. This is great, though.
Let me look at this.
And she's got it. She's just super. Super.
Anna Chapman from Russia, unloved.
Yeah.
There's the story I'm looking at. There's a nice shot of her.
When they throw, she has the fatigues on, Russian fatigues.
Oh no, she's in this shot, which is in the Daily Beast. She's got leather on. Her hair's red, and she says with scarlet lips. And this is from 11/27/14. Yeah. With scarlet lips and chemical red hair, the erstwhile agent is still making headlines in the West. She's put out a film exalting the virtues of the Russian army, even the units in Ukraine. But her audience in the motherland is negligible. Every now and then, I run into Anna Chapman at a nail salon called Little Fingers on Potopovsky Avenue in downtown Moscow. One would expect a red-haired, red lipstick celebrity ex-spy wearing expensive designer dresses that are tight enough to sculpt her curves in high relief to attract attention. But here in the hip Clear Ponds neighborhood, where at any time of the day, women are used to seeing and being seen to be cool. Glamour is nothing special. It's rare that another client would turn her head to look at Chapman. And besides, not many people in Moscow actually know who she is.
Wow, you're harsh.
Another dramatic reading by John C.
Dvorak, where the C stands for chilling. All right, then I have my last. Here's my last. You got one more last? I got one more last.
No, I'm done.
You're done? I thought this would be a nice little setup. We can all kind of start to ease into the weekend slowly. The New York Times had a wonderful... They've done a video explaining net neutrality. I figured you might want to hear it.
Yes.
Are you really ready for this? Because this is the official... This is the gray lady.
Now, just because the New York Times on net neutrality. which means they have nobody that's talking about it in any meaningful way. No. That's my guess.
Well, they've made a video to explain it. You see,
a video.
Yeah, but when the New York Times does this, you would have to say it have to be factually correct because they are the paper of record for the United States. Correct?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Net neutrality. Its future is up for debate, and many say its demise could change your experience online. Here's how.
I have no patience for useless things.
Notice they bring in the House of Cards right away with the Frank Underwood quote, I have no patience. So right away, net neutrality is House of Cards. You with me?
Yeah.
When you download from the internet, it arrives in packets of data. Think of the packets as literal packages. Let's say you want to watch a Netflix movie, which is 10 packages big.
Is it already hurting you?
That's the sound we're looking
Netflix
for.
ships, but first it has to go through a sorting facility. In this analogy, that's an internet service provider.
Now, what you're seeing is these streams, little rivers of packets from the left going into a box. So these streams are straight lines, just a straight line from Netflix, Amazon, Hulu. This is because going to the consumer, and the way they draw these direct lines, straight lines. So it must be some dedicated kind of network they have going into this box that says ISP on it, and they are the sorting facility, if you will. Let's disregard all routers, all protocols, everything that's come before it comes into the ISP. No, they are now the sorting facility. And then they have these little trucks. And these trucks are being filled up with these little packages, these packets to take to you, consumer.
Like Verizon.
Sounds like Senator Stevens put this together.
Very much so.
Comcast. Now, what net neutrality means is that all packages must be delivered at the same rate.
There you go. Net neutrality means all packages must be delivered at the same rate. And with this, they mean cost of money.
If the rules change, a company like Netflix could pay extra to get on that first truck.
Oh, you want to get on the first truck? I see.
I like this. The background music. The bed is like from Laurel and Hardy or something in the 30s.
A good point. Let's listen to it.
If a company doesn't pay, they might be shut out of that first truck. They'll get delivered eventually. But if that climactic movie scene arrives late, you know what that means.
And now they show a screen. So if that climactic movie scene, now they show again, you see House of Cards on a Netflix and it says buffering. This is the New York Times. And let's bring in we need to bring in some bodies here in this piece. I think we need some professor or something, somebody who knows something.
And it's more than just movies. Media columnist David Carr.
Let's bring media columnist. Who is David Carr?
David Carr's the media columnist. I think it's for the New York Times. He writes about the media.
This is the level of what is working at this place.
More.
Who gets to go fast and who gets to go slow? If my message comes to you really slowly, another person's...
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me understand net neutrality for a moment. So if you don't pay, you'll be coming through very slowly.
Brother.
Is that net neutrality, New York Times, David Carr?
Message comes quickly and directly. Who's going to be heard? That has implications for democracy, for commerce.
In the ongoing debate, the forces of Silicon Valley are on one side, with over 100 companies, including Google and Facebook, in support of net neutrality. On the other side are cable companies with powerful lobbying efforts in Washington.
This is what's so beautiful. They're both on the same side. This is what's so funny about it. Like Google and all they want the same. Google would love for the internet service to become a utility because they'll pay for. They're going to put their infrastructure in. They will do it. There will be no more competitors, and they may have to buy some of what's already out there. I think there's no fight between those two. They're all in the same boat. They love it. They're just pretending.
Silicon Valley's stance is clear. The cable company's position is also clear. But what about users? Net neutrality.
Users. Oh, God, I hate that word too.
Keep playing.
Is usually a subject that elicits more glazed eyes than passion, but that could change.
Net neutrality is a super wonky thing. Nobody wants to look behind their computer or look behind their television, seeing what's really going on. But where people get interested, where they get actualized, is when that stuff stops working. Then they want to know who made this happen.
There you go. That is exactly how it works. And that's why House of Cards was chosen. That's why House of Cards was chosen. So what you do is you start to make House of Cards buffer. And if you recall, this is when the new season came out. I think that's around the same time that it started. That's when politicians take note. Hey, wait a minute. That's the one show I really like.
It's disgusting.
That's the New York Times, everybody. I think you've heard a different message from us regarding net neutrality. And when it is implemented, sayonara, everybody.
It will be bad.
Yeah.
The FCC will get what they've always wanted, total control of all media.
Yeah.
Total control.
Yeah.
They've been trying to do this with cable. The cable guys managed to keep it away from
because
now.
It's none of their business. It's not over the air. But now, oh, yeah. Yeah, it's internet. Yeah, we got to do something. Think of the children. Well, we'll certainly have more on that as it progresses. Looking forward to a lot more analysis of this UK shut up slave bill and whatever else happens to cross our paths between now and Sunday, where we will be broadcasting episode 674. Coming to you from the Pipe in the heart of Amsterdam. Good morning, everybody. I'm Adam Curry.
And from the Pacific Northwest hideout, over 2,000 miles away from Ferguson, I'm John C. Dvorak.
We'll be back on Sunday, right here on No Agenda.
That's how we go. That's how we roll.
That's all, folks.
And that's the story. If there's a need for a rescue mission, when the world is threatened, when the world needs help, it calls on America. And that's the story.
And her head is gone.
Adios, mofo.
The best podcast in the universe. Dvorak.org/NA